going. Get myself muted on Zoom there, that'll help. This is W6CRP, the 2-meter crew. Welcome. I'll be tonight's coordinator for the Anti-Net. As always, I'd like to thank the owners and supporters of the W6VBR repeater and the Back Valley Radio Club for letting us use the repeater at this time for the Anti-Net. And if there's priority traffic while we're doing the Anti-Net, you just let us know. We will clear the frequency. Is there any priority traffic at this time? Okay. The 2-meter crew is not an actual club. We're a handful of hams, actually getting bigger than that nowadays, that enjoy doing ham and outside activities, learning more all the time. We do not just 2-meter at HF. There's no dues or fees to be a 2-meter crew member. For more information, you can log on to the website, which is the number 2metercrew.com, or visit the Facebook site, which is the number 2MC. This is an open net, and everyone's welcome. Please feel free to join in. The 2-meter crew Anti-Net meets every Wednesday at 7 o'clock on the W6BVR repeater, which is 145.470, negative offset of 600 kilohertz, and a PL of 127.3 hertz. You can also access it by using EchoLink, which is on WG5EEK, or via the AllStar node 51094, or through DMR 3149964. And as always, we've got Jason at the helm on Ham Radio Live TV live streaming us. And so you can find him on YouTube under Ham Radio TV and watch the live stream also. All right, we were kicking around looking for a topic this week, and we were a little short on a specific topic or a presenter for us. So we're going to go back to kind of how we started. We're going to do a roundtable today. So I'll go through and take check-ins. Please come one at a time and let me verify that we got you. And after check-ins, we'll do a little 2-meter crew update, see what everybody's been up to, and then we'll go back through the roundtable. When we come back, so you can kind of think about it, just check in, let us know what you've been up to. Let us know what your favorite net topic was, if any, or if you have suggestions for future net topics. So you guys can kind of think on that for a minute till we get back there. And again, it's W6CRP, and I'll be taking check-ins now, so come now, just checking in.
W1FRD, Fred here in Fairfield. Good evening, Carlos.
Good evening, Fred. Seems like I've been talking to you all day. Welcome aboard, W1FRD. Who's next?
Good evening there, Carlos and the group, KN6BXX, Michael from Carmichael. Is Chris, K6CMB on tonight? I'd like to get help with net logging. Thank you.
Michael, I got you, KN6BXX, and no, we've got Nick, KN6DAL, running the net logger now. So maybe you can hit him up on Discord direct, probably, if you need some help there. Who's next? Checking in.
Kilo November 6, Victor, November, Quebec. KN6, VNQ. Good evening, all.
And good evening, Brian, KN6, VNQ. How you doing tonight? Who is next?
86KWV. What's going on? Carlos and the group, it's good to hear everybody. And, no corona yet, so we seem to be blessed. I hope everyone else is staying safe and healthy.
Alright, there was a bit of a double there, and I think that was Joshua. Was that W6LEE I was hearing there?
Probably KI6UJH.
Okay, KI6UJH, I got you, Doug. And who else was that other double that was in there?
86KWV.
Okay, there we go. I got you that time. And who else is checking in?
NQ6 Oscar was AG6BI, change of call sign.
NQ6 Oscar, gotcha. Welcome aboard. Who else is checking in?
6 SMH, November 6 Sierra Mike Hotel. This is Scott in Roseville, California.
Hey Scott, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a little bit. Good to have you. Who's checking in? Who else is next?
K7CD Folsom.
The infamous TJ. Good evening. Who's next?
UV6WYF, Mike in Vacaville.
WB6WYF. Did I get that all right, Mike?
Whiskey Yankee Foxtrot.
Gotcha, thank you. Who is checking in next?
K6YI in Dixon.
K6YI. I gotcha. Who's next?
KJ7NCR, CTEC Washington via EchoLink.
Okay, let me double check that one. KJ7NCI. Did I get that one right?
No, sorry, I kind of mumbled a bit there. Kilo Juliet 7 November Tango Romeo. This is Bad in Washington.
November Tango Romeo. Gotcha that time. Thank you for checking in. Who do we have next?
November 5, Charlie Uniform, Dave, San Antonio.
Hey, Dave from San Antonio. Thanks for checking in. I've got the N5, but I didn't get the last digits. Can you come one more time?
Yeah, November 5, Charlie Uniform. I'm coming through AllStar.
Okay, got it. N5CU, coming through AllStar. Thanks, and welcome aboard. Who else is checking in?
Whiskey 6, Bravo Kilo Mike, Bill up in Auburn.
W6BKM, welcome aboard. And I'll take who's next. Okay, any check-ins? EchoLink, AllStar, DMR, or otherwise? Come now and we'll get you checked in. Alright, we'll swing back that way in a little bit, take some late check-ins if they come up. We usually run through a website update. I didn't hear Rodney check in. Rodney, did you make it out there, WA6PKJ? All right, maybe we'll catch him later. And Facebook updates. Anything new on that one? Nick, you want to weigh in on that one if you've checked it out lately? KN6DAL.
Sure, thanks Carlos. This is KN6DAL, Nick and Everett. Looks like our Facebook group, we are up to 162 members. There's been a lot of cool posts on different things, so if you haven't checked in there, feel free to check it out at 2MC. And there's just a couple questions to answer, like your call sign and stuff, and we'll get you in there. And yeah, 162 members so far. Thanks, KN6DAL.
Thanks for that check-in. And it's been a little bit thin for DXing reports or anything else, but anybody have anything to share for some long-distance contacts or plans to get out if we ever get out of this lockdown? Come now, let us know. DX reports. I know I was doing mostly listening last night, but 40 seemed to be pretty open, at least nationally here. Nothing real long, but it was pretty clear into Texas, Arizona, Salt Lake. For me, that was pretty decent. Had a good time. So remember, the bands aren't dead, and they're only dead if we don't get out there and get on them. Let's see. I'm going to swing back around to Jason, KM6FAK, and let us know how we're doing on the live stream.
Hey, Carlos, very good. Ooh, I'm a little, let me see here, a little hot there. Going into YouTube. Yeah, this is KM6FAK, sitting here in Vacaville, Northern California. Things are going good for me. We've got about 40 people hanging out with us in YouTube. We're there in the chat, so for those that would like to join us, the channel's called Ham Radio TV. If you're listening to us out there in RF land, or maybe you're coming through the various digital modes. Of course, we have the EchoLink, AllStar, DMR. Not a whole lot new. I did really enjoy a presentation by Josh. That's over there, Ham Radio Crash Course. I'm going to get a few windows open for later to check it out, but he had a guy in there this last Saturday from Grid Tracker. Really cool software. And, I'm always experimenting with different loggers, trying to figure out my most favorite one, because once I pick one, I just want to go all in, learn it well, build it out. So that's what I've kind of been doing, a little FT8, learning some new software, and a lot of this stuff is free, which is always just fantastic. Also, just wanted to remind everyone, if you're not familiar, there is a group of guys known as the YouTube Bunch. And you'll find that video on Ham Radio 2.0's channel. But they are getting together Saturday the 23rd, I believe. It's the last weekend of this month. It's Memorial Day weekend. That's Saturday, but more than likely we'll all be inside still. And they're going to do an all-day ham fest right there on YouTube Live. They're going to have a whole bunch of guest speakers, so that should be way cool. So look out for that in 2 weeks. So this is KM6FAK. Back to you, Carlos.
Kind of cool. We'll have to post the info up for that ham fest, and I imagine they'll be doing some RF with that, so looking forward to that one. Let's see. Go again for any late check-ins or anybody we missed that wants to check in. Come now.
KD0 MBL, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
That sounds like some DMR.
I caught North Dakota, and I'm sorry, I'm probably half deaf here, but I didn't catch the call sign. Can you come one more time?
5 Delta 0, Mike Victor Lima. Name is Eric, out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Short time, in and out.
Alrighty. Thanks for checking in there. All right, I'm going to circle back through the group then and give folks a chance just to check in, let us know what they've been up to. And when I come back through, let us know what the favorite net topic was, if you have one. And if you have any suggestions for future topics, that would be good. We try to come up with something every week, get somebody to share something interesting with us, learn a little bit. Not always easy. Sometimes we'll just do a round table. But I'm going to start at the front end of my list, and I wrote a few down here. KN6DAL. Nick.
KN6DAL. I shouldn't have put myself first on that list. Let me turn to my, there we go. So My favorite net topic that we've had so far has probably been on AllStar, because I learned quite a bit going through that. And then one of the future topics that I wanted to hear, and I discussed this with a couple of people, is the history of ham radio. I think would be really cool to hear. Just maybe some history on how it started, and then bring other people that may have been part of different key elements of the history moving forward. I think would be pretty interesting. There's a lot of people that join in on this anti-net, and a lot of great information that seems to come to light, and things that we learn about people along the way. So I think that would be neat, and yeah, that's all I got. So KN6DAL, back to you, Carlos. Thanks for doing the net.
Certainly, no problem. Let's say let's swing back to Jason, KM6FAK.
Still over here pushing buttons. I guess while I have everyone here, let me drop this out. So I shared a link, very cool website there in the chat, and this is something by Mike, WG5EEK, and that is the website with a .com on the end. And you'll notice there's a whole bunch of little very cool looking icons, links to obvious places. We fairly are new on Discord, so go check that out. The YouTube channel, some Instagram, Facebook, if you will. But then you can go up here and check in onto the Supermon. That is all about AllStar. And then you can also click over to the QRZ, which will open up Mike's page. I wanted to push Node. So Node is the kind of cool button, and that's what I'll show at times, because what this node shows, and it's coming, I wonder if everyone just hit this thing. We're about to DDoS you there. All right, so there it is. So, this has been around for a few weeks, so maybe you're just joining, you're checking this out. But this website will show you who is all connected via our EchoLink, our AllStar, or our DMR. And not to mention, if you scroll down, and I apologize if you're listening to RF only, because I am showing a website, but if you just go back and visit that website later, it's always there. And look at that spider map. That map is currently being updated every 30 or 60 seconds, and it shows how everyone is connected to each other. And sometimes Mike will connect his AllStar out to other people's AllStar, and it quickly can just build like crazy. So I just wanted to, let people know this website is for anyone to go check out and take a look at. And that's WG5EEK.com, and I'm KM6FAK.
Thank you, Jason. And guess who was up next? WG5EEK. Anything to add from that now that Jason stole all your thunder?
Hey, this is WG5EK, and so my friend Brandon and I have been working on that website, mostly him, and there's some other stuff going on in the background. If you have an AllStar node and you use Telegram, what we've done is we found this GitHub that allows you to send like a message to your phone when someone connects, and that was as far as the GitHub went. But he's gone and wrote a bunch more code where you can control the node from your phone through like commands. You can say, hey, who's connected right now? It'll list everyone's connected, and then you can get everyone's picture off QRZ. And he's working right now on updating where to grab their name and stuff too. So a lot of fun stuff like that. And then the only other thing that I thought was really cool this week is Chris, who's the digital analog ham 2E0UKH. He showed off some software. Let it drop for a second. He showed some software for getting into all these digital modes, and one of them was BlueDV, which they just updated to allow you to talk on Fusion. And then there's another one for your phone, your Android phone, if you wanted to listen to the digital modes. It's called DroidStar. It's available in the Play Store. And then there's one for Windows called DudeStar. Of course, that's kind of in a very beta program right now. But it works really well for listening and transmitting on DMR, Fusion, and D-Star, stuff like that. It's pretty neat. So check that video out. It's pretty good. I liked it. And back to you, Carlos. WG5EEK.
All right, and thanks for all you do with that. It's interesting stuff, and definitely growing the crew there. on the digital side. Who's next? We got W1FRD. Fred, what have you been up to?
I think he might have been mobile and traveling. Also, Carlos, when you can, we'll kick it over there to Steve and Mike here in our Zoom chat when you get through your list. So just put those on there too.
All right, we got that. Steve and Mike on the Zoom chat when we get through the list. Let's see, Michael, KN6BXX, how you been?
There, Carlos, Jason, and group, KN6BXX. I'm doing okay. I'm catching you on YouTube. Of course, I've turned on the YouTube volume down for a little delay there, so right on the radio there. I'm doing okay myself. A couple little things. One, I'm going to go ahead and try to make a little mini go box here shortly. I've got a Harbor Freight ammo box, and I'm waiting for a Radio Oddity 25-watt transceiver with a cigarette plug adapter, and hopefully in the coming weeks I'll get that so I could make that a flexible mobile setup between my vehicles, so that way we'll see what happens. I just, at this stage of my ham hobby, I don't want to hardwire any of my vehicles, so I thought, see if this will work out, and see if that pulls off. And then one more thing, let me break repeater. Also, next Tuesday, my ham club, the NHRC, is going to do our virtual net, and I'll be doing a story on the history of Q codes and all that. I think I have to give Jason credit for inspiring me to think about doing it for our club, so I'm going to do that next Tuesday night at 7:30 local time. I think we'll have the Zoom access on k6is.org. We'll see what happens, but we'll see what happens. It'll be my first presentation in the club meet, so how it goes, and I hope you guys wish me well. KN6BXX, back to you, Jason Carlson, the group, KN6BXX.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, Michael, and good to hear it's spreading around, so thanks for the update. Let's see, let's go to KN6B&Q. Brian, how you been?
Alrighty, what's up, Carlos, and good evening to the rest of the net, KN6VNQ. Jesus, where's my young friend in the chat there? I feel so lonely. There's a whole bunch of older guys that I'm talking to. I've been doing well. I'm not sick, even though somehow I'm a, quote, essential worker at Little Caesars. I guess it's comfort food for most people. And so far, I've enjoyed every 2-meter crew net that we've had. I mean, given I'm young and excited for anything that has to do with ham radio. And I think a good topic, I guess I started it on the K6POU repeater on 145.33, is learning CW, or how to learn. It seems like everybody has their own methods and different ways to learn code, and of course, now that everyone's quarantined and getting bored, they're starting to go, well, what's ham radio? Let me go get my license. Let me go take the test, the virtual test, and I made a goal for myself to learn CW and master it, basically, before I go and get my extra class license, because I feel like you should be able to master everything down before you go for that extra, because extra kind of means you're the master in the hobby. So anyway, hope everyone's staying safe and everyone's healthy. Can't wait to join the Zoom meeting later. KN6VNQ.
Well, good to hear from you, Brian, and I tip my hat to you. That's a good way to look at it, and continue the education on your way to extra. I have no doubt, listening to you on the air and watching you just dive into this, that you'll get there and pass that extra. So good on you. Let me see. KD6, KWV. Robert E. Lee. I should know that call sign there. What have you been up to?
Well, just playing radios, man. Thank God for ham radio.
Yeah, I can separate it.
I wish I had some kind of camera working. Everything I tried to find, I guess I've had them too long. So the kid's got to step it up with his modern technology need of some audio videos so I can get back up there in Zoom. So Sure is good to hear everybody. I see some of these guys. One guy's got a target sitting on top of his roof. That's kind of cool. Squirrel. That being said, always enjoy the net. You guys always bring something fun and interesting to the table. So I just love it, and wish I could participate on the video, but it's good to hear everybody. Hope everybody's well and safe. KD6KWV.
All right, Bobby Lee. Thanks for checking in. Let's see. What do I got now? KI6UJH. Doug.
Yeah, hi Carlos and everyone. Yeah, just following what Brian said. I'm an old guy, and I don't have extra yet, but I made the same pack that you did. I want to learn CW and be proficient in it before I get my extra, so that's a goal that I'm working on. And I'll just throw out there that, you know, I'm willing to do Zoom or Skype CW sessions, just, you know, practice some QSOs. If anybody's interested, my email's current on QRZ.com. I'll let it drop for a second. Yeah, so, you know, the other thing that I've been working on is, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. I got one of those mountain toppers. It's a CW-only radio. It runs on a 9-volt battery, a little transistor radio battery, 3 watts, and got that up and running today. And I was heard by the reverse beacon network. That was pretty cool, but pretty weak signals. And as far as topics, you know, if there's any experts out there who know how to use antenna modeling software, I think that would be an interesting topic, and, you know, just to get some pointers on where to get started and that sort of thing. This is KI6UJH, tossing it back to net control.
All right, antenna modeling. I got that one written down. Thanks for that idea, and good to hear from you. Let's see, NQ60, were you still with us? How about N6SMH, Scott?
Do you work tomorrow, Mike?
This is N6SMH. Good evening, guys. Lots going on in my world. I raised a new, I put up my 40-20 meter antennas a little higher. I got them up 30 feet up into the tree, and I took my 80 meter from 10 feet to about 17 and a half feet, and making better contacts with better signal to noise ratios, and it's still hidden inside the trees so no one can see them because I'm in an HOA, and I'm pretty darn happy with it.
Ah, sounds good. Figure out a way to make it a stealth antenna and get it up there, huh? Good job.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's up high, and I mean, it still could be better. I was hoping for 35, 40 feet, but I'll have to live with 30. That's just as high as I can get into the tree without killing myself, and I came close to doing that already a few times. So I want to stay alive to make the contacts, and I've made some good contacts out to Texas, Louisiana, Vancouver, a few other places, so it's working.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and that extra height won't do you much good if you're in the hospital. So, yeah, good choice on that one. All right, who else we got going here? K7CD, TJ. How about WB6, WYF?
Carlos on that. Yeah, I'm just still working on getting my CW back to where it was once upon a time, a long time ago. And as far as future topics concerned, it would really be neat to somebody explain NetLogger. So how we log into it. I'm still fighting with it. Other than that, really enjoy this. Back to you, Carlos. WB6 WYF.
6CMB comment.
CMB, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, NetLogger will be a future topic. Been trying to put the word out there on that, but for now we're still logging in. We've got 2 guys doing it tonight, so feel free just to old-fashioned call out your call sign over the air, over the EchoLink, or put it into even the YouTube chat, and we will type it in for you and save you guys the hassle. Happy to help.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure out we need to do that, figure out how to log in there. We're always in the dang thing, so it doesn't, we don't see what you guys do trying to log in and get in from the outside. We'll have to work on that, Chris. Figure it out. All right, who do we got next? K6YI, how are you doing?
It's K6YI.
When I talk, it still goes into YouTube.
Sheltering in place.
But you guys don't
I'm going to be 83 years old
on
in
Zoom.
2 weeks. My wife is on my butt constant. But I'm getting along.
Now, if you guys chatter too much, I'll just mute you from me.
I go through everything
and you
there,
just keep
but
on
then
doing
I
that.
come up to the last page, it says it's not available right now. Does anybody know anything about that?
Mike, you want to chime in on that one? I don't know if he's listening to us live. I'm watching his picture. WG5EEK. Are you listening?
Yep, I am still here and still having fun in the Zoom and reading all the chat messages and YouTube, having a blast. You know, I just want to say that this is really fun. Like, I'm kind of glad we opened this up to Zoom and YouTube through Jason's channel. It's always fun to meet new hams and get in here with Zoom later and chat with them and see what they've been doing. Seems to be that you know, everyone's doing a little bit something different, but at the same time, it's all ham radio related. It's real fun. So that's all I got. Back to you. WG5EEK.
Mike, a gentleman here, K6YI, had a question about getting in on EchoLink. He gets all the way and logged in, and then it says something about not available. James, you want to come again and let Mike know what the issue was?
Yes, I get when I go on the last page, I get an error occurred on this page. Please try your request later. Well, I've been trying for can't get through. And then I also went on the credit card approval one, and it comes back with a similar message. I'm looking in my bookmarks here right now, but that's what I'm after, validation. And it says, there is currently a system problem. Please try your request again later. But this has been like 3 weeks, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, if you want, you can email me. Go to QRZ, get my email, and I can try to help you out. I have not ran into that issue that you had before, but I can try to help you through email, and then we can maybe exchange phone numbers. It might be easier to do that way. Will that work for you?
James, did you copy that?
I copied that. I just getting a pencil to write down your call sign. I can look you up and send you an email or something.
Yeah, so it's I don't know if you're ready to copy. I'm kind of stalling for a bit, but it's Whiskey Golf 5 Echo Echo Kilo, and that spells out geek with a 5 in there. So Whiskey Golf 5 Echo Echo Kilo. Hopefully, you can look me up on QRZ and check me out, and then we can figure out what's going on.
Thank you very much. That's what I'll do.
All right. Thanks for that, Mike, and thank you, James. And happy birthday coming up, it sounds like. Young Spry 83. Sounding good to me. All right, we'll move on to KJ7 NTR.
Yeah, this is KJ7NTR. This is Brad here. Just glad I can finally check in on the actual net. Last week I was late with some family stuff, and before that I didn't have the license yet. So I'm glad this is all
right.
possible now, and I'm just marveling at EchoLink, actually. You know, when I had my licenses 25 years ago, this was, I mean, probably unimaginable back then. It was unimaginable. So just really glad to have this opportunity, and to have stumbled across you guys, and wouldn't say I have a favorite prior topic. I'll pause the machine here. But one topic that I thought would be kind of interesting to delve into a little bit that I haven't heard a lot about would be digital modes for MCOM situations. And especially in situations where the repeaters are going to get busy, and everybody, well, not everybody, but many people have their own hotspots and things like that. So it seems like it could bring a lot of opportunity as long as you can keep the electricity and the internet connection going, but maybe some challenges there as well, and I thought that would be kind of interesting to delve into a little.
Okay, Brad. I think I caught most of that. It was a little bit choppy. So you were talking about digital modes during emergency situations?
Franchise of the 2-meter crew. So it's fun to be here and fun to be able to listen and chat with you guys. And that's all. KJ7NTR.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, for checking in. Glad to have you. Let's see. Who do we have? Is that N5CU? Dave.
This is the 2-meter crew. N5CU, Dave, San Antonio, Texas. Not much doing here in San Antonio. Been doing a lot of FT8 now that it's starting to pick up here at work. I've got like 3 or 4 bands that I'm a couple of states away from getting the work all states. So just and getting ready to do that, they pulled me back into work. So I'll have to work on the weekend or after I get off work to finish off and try to get all those bands. So I've got like 3 or 4 bands. I'm almost done with just a couple states left. So anyhow, that's all I'm doing here, and hopefully everybody's doing well out there as well on ham radio. Back to you, Carlos, N5CU.
All right, Dave, N5CU. Thanks for checking in. Good to hear from you all the way out there. And who we got next? Let's look at N6BKN. Darren. KD0MVL. Mike.
N6CMB, I think we had a double there, Carlos.
Okay, thanks. Come back, whoever doubled up with me. I heard a station in there, sounded like on EchoLink, but the audible was very, very low. Could not make it out. I'll stand by here and try one more time.
KG6AEB. Good evening, 2-meter crew.
Hey, good evening. And what have you been up to?
Oh, just a whole lot of bouncing around. Not only am I taking care of my main hub, Reading down to Yuba City, I am also the main travel guy, so I take care of Sacramento down to Hayward now. I have been up north all week, so I haven't been on a repeater much.
All right, well, good to hear from you. And thanks for checking in. I'm going to call one more time, K8MRD, Mike.
Mike, you are you ready for your Zoom? Okay, well, this is... Oh, yeah. All you have to do is talk right here, and you're on the repeater. So introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mike, call sign K8MRD. I'm just outside of Detroit, Michigan. I have no idea what I'm doing, but been listening on the chat here, and I've got to say, boys, you've been doing a tremendous job with this net and repeater thing. This doesn't happen in Detroit, Michigan. You call a net here, you might get 8 or 9 check-ins. It's insane. So it's quite inspiring to see all this. This is my first time. This is way past my bedtime, by the way. This is my first time checking into the net because Jason made me do it. He forced me. He threatened my children that I don't have. But yeah, I mean, guys, you're absolutely doing it right. So.
And Mike, what do you like to do most? What do you do on your channel a lot, which I think is super interesting?
Well, I'm an HF guy. So I'm a portable HF guy. That's kind of my passion. So I do a lot of parks on the air. I love antennas. Antennas, number one, is my favorite thing in ham radio. Making, talking, designing, thinking, more so above actually using the ham radio. I just like making antennas and stuff. So, but yeah, portable operations, emergency comms, parks on the air. That's my thing. So yeah.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for coming in and hang out as long as you can. I'm not sure if you're working tomorrow or not, but
I am. Yeah.
me too.
It's 7 in the morning, and it's 11:45 here in Detroit.
Well, but
I'm staying up for your show.
You look more than enough beautiful, so you don't need any of that beauty sleep. 5 hours.
Do I look better than the squirrel?
Is that a sandwich? All right, very good.
He's eating pizza, so he's good. All right, guys. Thanks. 73 K at MRD.
Back to you, Carlos. KM6FAK.
Yeah, nice to hear you, Mike. And
too much.
You hook up with Doug, KI6UJH. He's another Parks on the Air and antenna guy, portable. You guys sound like you speak the same language.
We probably do.
All right, W6CRP for ID. And I had one more down here, Steven, K5ATA. Jason, you going to help us out with that one?
Yeah, Steve, you
want to... game.
You ready to go there, Steve?
I'm ready to go.
All right, go ahead. The repeater's yours.
All right. My name is Steve, K5ATA. Live in Oxford, Mississippi, which means if we have a net, we're lucky to get 7, much less, 52, or I'd even take Mike's Detroit 9 or 10 some of the times. But I teach school, and my big thing is getting kids into ham radio. So, we got 25 kids licensed this school year before we got coronaed out of school, and 3 teachers. And then if we're not doing that, I'm out doing POTA with my daughter. So that's kind of our other thing.
Heck yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And by the way, guys, these 2 guys here definitely have their own YouTube channel as well. So make sure you check that out. Links they'll be in the comment for you. All right, back to you, Carlos.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining us. Always good to hear from some other guys out there trying to figure it out and get it on the air also. So, pretty cool. I'm going to swing back around and see if there's any late check-ins or anybody else that had anything to share with the net. So, if you want to check in and you haven't...
You got net logger, Chris?
Whiskey 0, Whiskey X-Ray Lima.
W0WXL. How are you doing? What have you been up to?
Well, I've had an interesting couple of weeks, but I finally got my HF side working. I had trouble with the antenna tuner, which is now resolved. I had trouble with the antenna, which is now repaired. My antenna only goes 10 through 40, but I'm able to transmit and be heard on all of the frequencies between 10 and 40. So I'm really doing pretty good tonight. So the next challenge for me is getting the SP220, the old Heath kit, amp up running, and hopefully I can get that figured out here pretty soon, and I'll have an almost legitimate ham radio set up. But that's what I've been doing. It's great to check in and see you guys every week, and it's extremely delightful to be included in this. So thanks everybody, and I'll be listening anyway.
Progress, that's always good, Dave. And figured it out inch by inch. That's the only way I can usually do it. I leave enough mistakes behind me. It takes me a while to work through them all and get everything working. But good to hear you're getting there. All right, anybody else late check-in?
Good evening, Carlos and Annette from Reno, Nevada, Whiskey 6, Quebec, India, Zulu, W6, QIZ. Hammers Robert, no traffic. Good night.
All right, thanks for checking in, Robert. And I like the code name there, W6QIZ. Yeah, that's a good one. Anybody else checking in?
W6BKN, Bill up in Auburn.
All right, is that W6EKN?
Whiskey 6, Bravo, Kilo Mike. I did check in earlier, but I think I was missed on the roundtable. That's no big deal. This is about my 4th time, I think, checking in with you guys, so I don't think I really have a favorite topic. What I've been doing lately is researching and purchasing equipment to get my first HF rig up and running. So I don't know if that would be a good net topic or not, but that's what I've been doing. So back to you, W6BKN.
Yeah, that sounds good. HF, first rigs, get them up and going. I'm writing that down. And thanks for checking in. Yeah, I appreciate that. Anybody else checking in late?
N6CMB, Carlos, I'll jump in if there's a moment.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
I just want to let you know we've got about 11 new calls came in tonight between YouTube and EchoLink and even on the analog side. That was good. It should just put us just over 125 unique check-ins we've had on the anti-net. That's pretty cool. As for me this week, I had a friend, actually I guess I thought he was a friend up until he gave me a radio here this week. I won't name names, but I'll name calls, KD6KWV. You guys might know him as Bobby Lee. Oh, I guess I did name a name. I kind of kid. He gave me an 80-tone 878 because he knew that I had recently gotten D-Star set up and figured that I needed to learn DMR, which if any of you have code plugged DMR, you know the pain I've been going through now for about 5 days, where life seems to just crawl into this programming nightmare that I've been going through. But I joke a little bit. It took a little while to get it right. I managed to get a good DMR code plug that I wrote on my own and joined some of the talk groups around the nation and around the world on DMR Digital. So I got another digital mode under my belt that I can use and play around with, have fun, meet people, hamming it up. So thanks to Bobby Lee for hooking me up with a radio and pushing me down that road a little bit. That's it. That's all I've got tonight, guys.
All right, thanks, Chris. Anybody else? Late check-in or anything to share with the anti-net before we kick over to Zoom?
Kilo Mike 6, Uniform, Quebec, checking in. Last time I checked in, I was out for a jog. No jog tonight and no traffic.
Yeah, I do remember that, and thanks for checking back in with us. Anybody else?
Quick comment, W6QIZ.
Going to be joining the stream, watching on YouTube, and talking on my DMR station tonight.
There was a double there. QIZ, stand by for a second. Who else was that was under QIZ? All right, W6 QIZ, go ahead.
Hey, real quick, I have another repeater up and down in the Bakersfield area connected to my node here, the N6 SMU repeater in Bakersfield. Perhaps there's people that want to check in over there. I don't know if there is or not. However, they can check in as long as there's a carrier, so maybe you could see if there's anybody looking to check in from Bakersfield to the anti-net. I'm not sure, but it's the N6 SMU repeater in Bakersfield. W6QIZ, Reno, Nevada.
All right, so anybody to check in through N6 SMU?
EA3 PGS.
I didn't get all of that one. Come again if you could, a little slower.
Victor Alpha 3, Papa Golf Sierra, QSL.
Yeah, I got that. VA3 PGS. Go ahead.
I think I may have doubled with you a couple calls earlier. Name is in Oakville, Ontario, Canada, and just checking in on DMR. Was on live with you guys last week, I think, or the week before on Zoom, and I'm a musician. I run a music store in Toronto, also a ham radio operator. Got back into the hobby after a 20-year hiatus due to COVID, and yeah, fooling around with Wires X. Love the net, love the anti-net. You guys totally rock.
Thank you. We're having fun. I don't know if we are on top of what we're doing every week, but we're trying. Yeah, good to have you, and thanks from checking in from up yonder. Good to have you. Any other late check-ins? All right, I'll swing back around and see any other comments from the other folks helping with the net. Chris or Nick or Mike, and then I'll hand it over to Jason there in a sec. And this is W6CRP. Jason, go ahead.
All right, very good. Well, thanks everyone for coming out. We'll be wrapping up the repeater section here in a few, but I did want to say we're not going anywhere for right now. Come hang out with us in Zoom. Probably an hour or so. We've had some long ones, but we're gonna try to keep it kind of shorter. Yeah, I also wanted to say that big thanks to my friend Evans. I recently made acquaintance with, and let me throw that up on the screen here. This is his website, Coluna Graphics, and you might have noticed I have a new logo. So a new logo is out. I have a few different variations, and I'm really excited because now it's finally big enough to put on a hat, a shirt, a sweatshirt, or something. So look out for that, and big thanks to Evans. All right, back to you, Carlos, and then we'll be in Zoom. This is KM6 FAK.
All right, one last time. Any last comments for the anti-net, and then I think we'll close this down and let folks that want to move over to Zoom. So last minute comments, come now. All right, well, thank you very much. And again, thank you to the Back Valley Radio Club for letting us use the W6 BVR repeater. This is the 2 Meter Crew anti-net, meeting here every Wednesday. Sounds like we're about done, so we're going to clear the frequency back to normal use. And Jason will move us over to Zoom if you are so inclined. Have a good night. W6CRP.
With sleep, I believe.
Did I double up there, or did that get out?
I heard you, Carlos. I heard you, Carlos.
I heard it all the way through. N6CMB.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Okay.
Feel there's a YouTube channel that has done an in-depth review of the G90. It might be Steve, could you help me out? What channel is it?
How do you find this YouTube thing you're talking about?
Yeah, where do you go to the YouTube?
So if you go to the Googleizer and then you type in
okay.
YouTube and then you type in K8MRD
MRD radio stuff.
You don't even have to do that. Just type in K8MRD and hit enter. Or if you have a Mac, hit turn. And if you have a Mac, you're better.
Every time I try to go there, it just melts down my computer. Why is that?
That just happened. Sorry, boys. It happened early.
On the Googleator, K8MRD is like stacked up there.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. But if you look, we were talking about the G90. No, that G90 is sweet, dude. It's a really cool radio.
Isn't it like $250 or something?
No,
it's four. No, it probably.
It's almost
like
$500.
$400. No, it's not $500. No.
I thought. Yeah, I thought. I know.
I thought it's like $4.5, $475.
If you pay full retail, it's $450. The G90 is pretty inexpensive. Yeah, and it's a cool radio. It's not the radio that I take with me in my car in my go bag.
Do tell, which one do you take?
X5105. I like the X5105. And I have the 891 in the car. But anyway, so the G90 is a sweet, sweet, sweet radio. Anyone else?
Have you used a KX2 or 3?
Nope.
Is that the best radio? What's the best antenna to go with that? I'm sorry.
How long do you have for him to talk?
Dang trolls. Yeah, what's going on, guys? So yeah, we're now in the Zoom. YouTube is still chugging away, and I like to try to show stuff that we might talk about. So it's just kind of free for all. I wasn't quite ready or keyed up, but I really did want to show some of that stuff Josh was going over. That was all brand new for me on his stream Saturday. This grid tracker stuff. I'm sharing my screen now, but man, have you been using that, Mike, or anybody else on FT8?
I haven't been using it, but it looks like that is a solid bit of software. It is fantastic. I literally downloaded it, opened it up, configured nothing because I already had WSJTX there and it just worked. So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Is that a website or a program?
Well, you go to the website and then you download this free program called Grid Tracker, and I don't have it really turned on yet. But the idea is
you have to use it with that other. You have to use it with that first program that Mike just said.
WSJTX.
Yeah.
Correct. So it's an it's an
I have
FT8
that
or
downloaded.
digital.
I'm just trying to figure out what else I need.
Oh, well, it's an FT8 digital interface. So, if you're on HF, if you're doing FT8,
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
and it's one more just toy to play with.
Yeah, it's a tool in the toolbox, right?
That's it.
I got it.
And one more just toy to play.
Just mute them all.
Yeah, I was just trying to find the source. All right. Brad said he's working, so he can't turn on his video because he said the
Is
guys
my
in.
audio coming through? Because I can't tell.
Yeah, your audio's coming through. Guys in black suits will show up, Brad said, if he turns on his video.
Have you messed around with that software, Jason?
No, it was new to me just this last Saturday. And
yeah, I literally I have it pulled up on my computer right now, and as soon as we're done tonight, I'm downloading it, and we'll see where we go.
Yeah, another piece of software I learned as well that night, because I'm not convinced I like Ham Radio Deluxe. I want to like it. It costs money. I haven't paid for it yet, but I'm doing the 30-day free trial. And so anyways, I'm sharing my screen now. This other one called Log4OM. Is that for old man?
I have that.
So this was new to me as well. I believe, what was his name? I started with a T. Was it Terry from Grid Tracker? He actually said that, because I asked him, I go, man, this program's amazing. He was being interviewed by Josh. And I said, what about a logging program? I just haven't found one that I really like. And I mean, I have found a logging program I really like called Rumlog NG, but that's for Mac only. And I've been kind of doing more with PCs, building one, etc. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be looking at this Log4OM, and from what I understand, it works hand in hand with the Grid Tracker, and just so many toys to play with.
Yeah, so show us a call with that and what happens when you work with that software, Jason. Not to put you on the spot, but
I don't know.
I'm a Mac guy, and I've got a pretty badass bit of kit on my Mac here, so I want to see what your Windblows software can do there.
Well,
hey, can I get the name of that last website, the Grid Tracker?
Yes, it's called windblows.grid. No, Grid Tracker is a fantastic bit of kit.
Okay, so it looks like the website. Let me share that. Yeah, because actually the website is not that.
Yeah, share, Jason.
Let me drop it in the chat, but it's TAGLOOMIS.com. Tag Loomis. Oh, I think maybe his name was Tag, come to think of it. Terrible.
Yes, his name was Tag.
I thought it was like
Still
Terry.
is.
Yeah. So the guy's name is Tag. Really cool dude. And yeah, check that out. Mike, I just, maybe if people start talking a bit, I can push some buttons and flip around, get the radio on FT8. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be buzzing the heck out of people.
No worries, man.
Little RF in the shack.
What?
Well, the RF in the shack is manageable, but when I'm running all the audio gear right now to do all this, some humming and buzzing will be noticeable. I notice I have to bring my RF down to like 50 watts. Yeah. Once I'm down to 50 watts, the humming goes away. But
that's inexcusable.
I know.
You're the professional.
Well, I'm actually not. Just an amateur. Somewhat of a new amateur.
Darn it, you got me. Nah, you're doing a fantastic job. There's no hum on my end, by the way. Your mic sounds fantastic.
Oh, yeah, no. Once I get the FT8 going, when it goes to transmit, it's like...
Then it's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I also learned that Saturday...
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
What's up, Corey?
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
Oh, okay, yeah. You can just raise your hand.
Mike was
no,
kidding
I'm kidding.
When he said no, just so you know.
Yeah, you can.
Go ahead.
There's,
change the subject for the love of God.
No, hey, like everyone says, I like Jason's voice. He's got that smooth voice.
I don't know about that.
The DJ personality.
My voice is mixed up growing up in Pennsylvania and now here on a very left state.
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Well, the problem is I never really smoked enough. I don't have a good smoking voice. I feel like,
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Not that kind of smoking voice.
I'm gonna mute myself.
So the radio, utilizing FT8, obviously, in most cases, you're going to be using some kind of sound card interface or maybe a USB. It'll plug right in which case, this radio does. But I wasn't sure, and I figured that out Saturday, how to separate. So you actually can have FT8 going on the same time. Let's say you're doing a Zoom call or doing something else with your computer, and I thought that was pretty interesting because I did not know how to do that on a Mac, but I'm guessing Macs can separate that audio as well. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes.
You can do both?
I can do all kinds of things on my Mac, yes. Because I've been taught how to.
Yeah, very good.
But no, it works fantastic. I've got it all figured.
All right. So what is going on? Looks like Brian is here with us with his guitars. How's the pizza industry, Brian?
It is booming, to say the least, because everybody's getting too lazy, which is the defining moment of America. Nobody wants to cook anymore, and they just say, you know what, I'll just get cheap $5 pizza over at Little Caesars and just swarm inside of our our store. We'll get like 7 people cramped up in our store, and we have to tell them, no, go outside. If you're waiting for an order, you got to get out of here, because we don't want to get sick. And corporate hasn't. We were supposed to get masks for work on the 27th of last month, and they still haven't come in. So we have to keep bringing our own masks in. So it's getting tiring wearing the same ridiculous surgical mask.
Could you just put some dough over your face?
No, I'll get a lot of grease and stuff from the oven on my face.
Got it.
Really?
It's because you're the extra most bestest, man.
Yeah, I always work the oven.
What state are you in?
California.
I'm sorry?
California. Lovely
Little
California.
Caesars is all the way out in California?
Yeah, they have
Oh my
In-N-Out Burger
gosh.
too, which I miss like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
From someone in Detroit, Michigan, where Little Caesars is from, I'm sorry. I used to work for Little Caesars.
Our masks are coming from Detroit too.
Yeah.
No, they're not. It's Detroit. They didn't get out of Detroit.
Brian, the lesson learned here is not anything to do with COVID. It's keep doing what you're doing, studying, and get a real job so you don't have to work at Little Caesars forever. All right, dude?
I'm trying,
Yes.
but then again, the job that I want is dealing with people 24/7.
People
Yeah,
suck.
well, you'll get there.
People suck.
That's only the job you want for a short time.
I work in retail. They suck.
I mean, I'm trying to get
Wouldn't
a job.
retail be
in,
great without people?
It's kind of the
Brian,
way
are you a
retail is
senior?
right now. We call that Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian, are you a junior or a senior?
Senior.
All right. Are you able to actually like do school and stuff? What are you gonna do for graduation?
It's kind of mixed right now. There's actually parents and students that are going to protest in my town tomorrow.
Wow.
Demanding that they want like a traditional graduation or something, or if they want something like a drive-through graduation, which I think is I've ever heard in my life.
Every one of those protesters should have to go back next year and do senior year over again.
I feel like the virus is a good thing to kind of like get rid of all the dummies in the world.
Well, I would. That's your opinion.
There will be a Karen revolution
Karen
in 2021. I'm saying it here first.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
it's,
guys.
it's
I gotta
crazy.
bail. It's late here in Detroit.
Yeah,
so.
I gotta get. It's way past my bedtime.
Thanks a lot for coming in, you guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, privileged to be here, and we'll
Okay,
catch you on the next stream there.
hold on, before you bounce out, I have a question about FT8. Since you guys, whoever's running FT8.
Oh, I can help him with that. We can let him go.
Yep. There you
Okay.
go. See you later.
Come back next week, eh?
Hey, thanks for
I
coming
just want
by.
to know if FT8 is real radio.
Is FT8 real radio? Well, you need a radio to work FT8. So I'd say yes. It's just a different kind of radio. I am much too younger to remember, but from what I understand, some of the OMs didn't like single sideband when that first came out for HF. So I don't know if that's apples and oranges, but anyways. Corey, what is your FT8 question?
So my question is, I'm trying to set FT8 up on between my radio and my computer, but I can't get them to connect to each other. I don't have an external sound card, but I have the cord that goes directly from the in audio and the mic cord, and then connects to the radio. But
what kind of radio is
probably
it?
somewhere in the settings. The Yaesu FT-450D.
Okay, the 450D. So then you need something like a signal link. Do you have something like that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me see if I can bring
No.
one up. So does someone have a repeater on? Someone's listening to some FT8, huh? There we go.
Yeah.
That went off. All right. So, well, I can do this a few ways. Are you monitoring YouTube right now or just Zoom?
Yeah, no, I'm monitoring YouTube too. Yeah,
Okay.
I see you.
So I shared the screen. So this is going to be a single link, and I think there's a couple different manufacturers that make this, but this is going to be required to make a radio like the 450 work with your computer. So that's the biggest difference when you're seeking a radio to buy and you want to get into digital. Radios will say with a built-in sound card. So in other words, the radio needs the sound card. Obviously, all of our computers have sound cards, but the radio needs a sound card. And if it doesn't, then you have to utilize something like this box, which looks like maybe about $100 or so. I'm sure they're out there used as well. And then that is what interfaces and then plugs into your computer. And now your computer says, oh, this is how you want me to send FT8. So does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I saw some links on YouTube that I was looking up, and there was a way that you can connect without the signal link and using that patch cord directly between the computer and the radio.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'm not aware of that, so I mean, not saying that's not the case, but it definitely is going to be. The limitation always seems to be from your radio, what radio you're running. You know, for instance, the 991A has the sound card, and then the 7300 has the sound card. So, yeah, I'd be curious to learn what you find out on that. But has anyone else in this chat have had that experience or have tried it without some kind of radio sound card?
There's a way, but through your FT-450, there's a 9-pin plug, I believe, a DIN plug that goes in the back.
Yes.
That's receive out from.
That's the one I have.
Okay, that's the audio that comes out of your computer. I mean, from your radio to your computer. But you're still going to need to connect another patch cord from your. There's another plug in the back where you can go and transmit. But it's kind of hodgepodge, and you really don't get very good audio doing it that way. It's better to get the signal link or the rig blaster.
Dave, you've got some interesting noise on you there a little bit, just to give you a heads up through Zoom. But not a problem. We got that. Okay, very cool. So there is something you can make work. Very good. Let's see. How about John? Would you like to tell us what's new? Any questions? How things? You're a 4. So where are you calling from? As far as KN4YMJ.
Hi, John. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Cool.
Getting kind of late here too, but whatever. No real questions. I just stumbled across the net. You know, YouTube said, "Hey, there's a live channel going on," and so I thought I would check it all out. What's new? I just got a 2-meter Yagi up in the air. No real questions. I just stumbled across the net. You know, YouTube said, "Hey, there's a live."
I got you there.
Thank you. But yeah, so working on an experiment to try to talk to my dad, who's about 90 miles away as the crow flies. So, point our Yagis at each other and see what we can get going on.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's some good miles.
Because of that, my rig is out or closer connected to the antenna until I get the cable run, and my FT8 antenna is not connected. So, but whatever. Like I said, I was just kind of checking it out, seeing what you guys were about and up to.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Well, very good. Yeah, welcome. We started doing this every Wednesday, 7 p.m. out west here, and a lot of times we do some kind of topic, and then we do something like this. Looks like Bobby Lee
Jason, you see the picture you have up
is joining
on
us
YouTube.
Yeah.
So that far plug, that first plug right there, that's the 9-pin. DIN pin, and then on the other end it has the 3mm. Has 2 plugs on this patch cord. One goes into the mic and one goes into your audio. And I have that cord, and it's supposed to work. And I'm just thinking that maybe it's just somewhere in the settings that I need to figure out.
Yeah, that sounds right, because the computer and the program has to know what to listen for and then where to transmit on.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, FT8 can be tricky. I mean, sometimes I have issues with just, this radio that's all built in. So there's a Kevin B in the chat. It's asking, does Corey have the cat cable too? Do you have the cat cable as well? That's the one that I sometimes joke and say it looks like a
No.
a backward video display port.
No.
What is that? The blue
Yeah.
one?
No. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So let's see. Bobby Lee, how is your audio tonight? Are you listening to YouTube?
Yeah, no. When did I just come? I came in through Zoom.
Okay, good. You're coming in through Zoom. I hear no echo, so you're sounding looking great. How the heck are you? Oh, wait a minute.
I'm listening through Zoom. Don't have YouTube connected at all. Okay, good. You're coming through Zoom. I hear no echo, so
I hear a little bit coming back. I'm not sure if that's.
Welcome to 1985, Bobby.
Well, no worries, man. How the heck
Hey,
have
Bobby,
you been?
how's it going?
I did find out what the issue was.
What's that?
It was my issue with Wires X.
Oh, what did you find?
It's going good. The issue was with Wires X. That's why I couldn't hear anything on the computer. I couldn't hear anything on anything else. So it was pretty interesting to get through it. But needless to say, I've been so freaking bored out here that I had to find a way to stimulate myself. So I decided to dive into the computer and figure out what in the devil was going on. And I found a parameter that basically had changed, Wires X changed my speaker and microphone outputs. And that's why I couldn't hear anything, do anything. And I just didn't know that happened until I dove deep into the program. And there you go. I found the problem. Here I am. It's working. I have to switch things back in order for Wires X to work. So I'll figure out dedicating another computer or something to that later. But I'm here.
Well, very cool. Yeah, you're right about that. When you start playing with radios and plugging things in, sometimes the computer it just grabs something and moves the audio channel input output, and you're just like, what the heck? But I feel like within this hobby, we definitely have to become our own IT guys and what have you. How about anyone else? Anyone else like to say hello? How you doing up there, Dan? KF6 Triple H?
Oh, not too bad. I got up fairly early this morning, crawled up in the attic and put up a new HF antenna. I'm kind of pooped from that. I got limited space and my wife doesn't like anything outdoors, so I'm stuck in a small hole. And I missed the net tonight because I was actually making my first CW contact with a guy on the other side of town. So I'm surprised I caught a guy 2 miles away on HF. But
what kind of antenna did you put up there?
It's a Maldol HVU8. I think it's actually made by Comet. So it's HF, VHF, UHF. It's like 80, 40, 20, 15.
What was the name or model number?
Maldol HVU, so HF, VHF, UHF 8.
Okay, yeah.
Gives you eight bands with 2 meter and 440 is the last two. So I use a.
That's crazy looking, isn't it? It's all spiky. It looks like a vertical.
It's a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it looks like a confused vertical.
But when you're stuck in an attic with about 6 foot of headspace, except for a little space in between, and all of my HVUC stuff.
Well, no, I mean, I like it. I mean, that's the best part about this hobby. You just never know what's going to work until you really try it. I mean, you can definitely watch and read, enjoy YouTube videos, but, man, sometimes you really just got to get your hands on it and put some RF through it.
Yeah, my old antenna, I used to live down the street, and I could get up on the roof. I got a balun, and I got an old 100-foot extension cord that died. I grabbed 2 of the 100-foot wires, stuck them on the balun, and threw them on the roof. And I could hit Eureka. I could hit New Mexico and Texas and every down in the East Coast, just with a couple of wires, nothing tuned really. But I can't do that here, so I'm experimenting and seeing what'll work.
And you said you got your first CW contact?
Yeah.
Congratulations. You gotta be careful with those. I tried that once, and a guy showed up with 2 goats and said that I was going to give him $50 for each one. I don't know what happened. But it was good first contact.
Yeah, I heard the guy the other night on my old antenna, but I couldn't get out to him. And I looked him up on the ARRL net and sent him an email. And it turns out my wife knows him and his wife. So we kind of set everything up that he's an old timer who's getting back into CW. And I guess there's about 6 other people on this morning net that are also trying to do it. So we're trying to do, nice, slow, everybody's mellow, 5 words per minute and lots of mistakes that nobody laughs or complains. So hopefully a couple more months I'll be a little more competent, but I've been taking a class at CW Academy and it's helped a whole bunch.
Oh, very cool. Heck yeah. How about, I haven't heard anything from John. John, would you like to say anything? This would be KE0WEU. Wait, looks like we got some audio there maybe, John? No, not so much? No problem at all. I like where the camera is and your fingers. It's like spider fingers when you type. Well, great to have you in there. Not a problem, man.
He's
Let's
giving
see.
us an ASMR touch.
Yeah. How about Eddie? How's it going, Eddie Martinez? Where are you calling in from? Oop, let's see. If I hit it, if we both unmute you at the same time, it's like unlocking the door for your kids. Okay, try it now, Eddie.
So can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Can't complain. I'm over here from Laredo, Texas, the gateway to Mexico, per se.
Excellent.
I am KG5WNL.
Okay. Very cool. And how have everything been treating you? You've been able to play some radio a little more than lately?
I've been playing with HF with 40 and 80, and it's giving me high blood pressure. That's okay.
So are you putting your call out or trying to get some people, but they're not hearing you?
I can set up real good. I was having problems with my tuner, and I have an old ICOM 735, and it's just one of those smoothie, gotta get it good. And this one, you get it tuned, the frequencies just go south, man.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Yeah, sometimes I feel like if I start yelling into the microphone, people will be able to hear me better, if I'm only doing 100 watts or something. But then the wife comes out and she's like, what are you doing? Because I'm out here in the garage. Yeah, so I brought up, so you have an ICOM 735. I brought up some pictures, sharing it on YouTube. Very cool looking radio. It always amazes me how many radios are out there that I've just never really seen, let alone used, that's for sure.
Well, you might not seen it, but it's a lot harder to work.
Okay.
Especially when the instructions are in Chinese.
Well, it looks like it's been around for a while, so.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's just one of those fixed. The minimum is 10 watts and the max is 10, and you got to move like, I don't know if you remember those old equalizers they put in the car systems. That's the control for the gains, for the wattage, got to be just.
Yeah, you're right. I see that where you make the smiley face on the EQ. Yeah, so you got to deal with those a little bit. Got it.
That's a good looking radio, though.
Yeah, it is. It's real good, and it's I can say it's dummy proof.
It's nice when a radio has a lot of buttons, physical buttons.
And it hasn't smoked.
Yeah, I keep saying
nothing,
I keep saying my next base HF radio here is going to have all knobs and buttons, no menus.
Yeah.
We'll see when I get there.
All right, guys, this is definitely an open forum. you know, feel free to pipe in or add a question. But I mean, essentially, I'm just looking around the boxes, making sure everyone gets a chance to say hello, and you don't have to say hello if you don't want to. Maybe you just want to
How about
some milk.
Marcus? I haven't heard from Marcus in a while.
Yeah, Marcus, you there? We got no video and you're muted. Let's hit unmute. See if I can unmute him. Maybe he's just
What's happening, fellas?
What are you doing there, Marcus?
There he is.
I'm just driving to work.
Okay, you're in the car?
Yeah, we're in the truck. I headed to Yuba City.
Okay, Yuba City. And Marcus is out here. He's kind of a local guy with us. He's comes up on the local repeater, so he's out here in California, of course. But how are things? Anything to add or report on, Marcus?
Things are pretty good. I'm very busy. I am the main travel guy now for my company. So when I'm not up north, I'm either in Sacramento all the way down to San Jose.
Boy, oh boy, that's a lot of miles.
Yeah. So I've doors and windows. So my main hub is Redding, all the way down to Yuba City, Marysville, and just before Sacramento. And when I'm not as busy up here, I'm mainly in the East Bay. That's where I'll stay throughout the week. And then I'll travel to San Jose, Hayward, Oakland, all that. So yeah, I've been up north all week. So.
Well, all right, man. Don't let them work you to death. Good Lord.
No, never that.
Well, thanks for coming in and saying hello to us tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
So I did have one thought. Maybe I don't know if you had this conversation with your new friend at Kulana, but might be an interesting conversation to have. Is if you would be interested in designing QSL cards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so kind of give him some ideas, what you're into or what reflects you, you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Something a little more personalized than the other stuff that, the places I've seen so far, I haven't exactly been thrilled with, let's just put it that way. And just, they don't really seem, unique enough, if that's the way to put it. It seems like somebody with some skills like that might find a little niche in getting people hooked up with some really good designs.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And what would be the best way to convey what you're looking for? Do you think that would be like in an email, or maybe share a few pictures or something to give him an idea?
Yeah, so like, for example, like I thought for my own cards would be a kind of an interesting idea, like a throwback thing would be like that 1950s style like art of somebody at a radio, and you have like the Western style and like the Eastern style on opposite sides of the card, and like Eastern being like the Soviet style with like the like clip art handshake and some like lightning bolts and stuff like that with your call sign at the bottom. I thought that'd be kind of cool. But and then the searches I've done for even clip art that has something similar is just, it's not there. So It just seems like it would be kind of a fun thing to have somebody that does it on a professional basis to be able to work up something like that, even if it's just finding the right images and making sure they're legal for you to use on something like that and things like that. It seems like it'd be kind of an interesting angle for him a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I've not even done a QSL card myself, and I feel terrible. I've gotten a few, including Brian here in the Zoom call. He sent me one. Oh, did he? I think he might have escaped. Did he say bye? Anyways,
he's still
no, there you are, Brian. Yeah. So, man, you're right. We all need some QSL cards. We need to kind of bring that back, because how cool I think it's way cool when you can plaster a wall somewhere with all of them.
Who was that? Exactly. Who's bringing that idea up?
That's Brad with no video. He's in somewhere very secretive right now.
Oh, top secret, Brad. Dude, great idea. I think we're going to talk to Evans at Kulana Graphics and let them know, man, there's maybe an opportunity, because some of us are graphically challenged.
Yeah, I'm
I think
totally
it's,
graphically
he could
challenged.
get a template, right, for your basic back of the card layout, couple options for you. You send him your favorite picture and tell him what you want it, because that's where I'm at. I've got a photo I want to use, but I've never followed all the way through, got the dang thing done, and had him printed out. So I don't know if he prints himself, but if he hooked up with a printing company and then sell you your cards at a markup for his time or her time, I don't know who it is, you could work with them, do the graphics, say I want 100 cards, 500,000, whatever it is, and sell them to you a little markup.
Yeah.
May not be big enough for them to be interested, but be worth throwing it
No,
out
I
to.
think, I mean, let's put it this way. I think, you know, the closest thing, I was actually listening to Josh, I guess, did a stream about this a while back, and I was listening to a podcast episode that he turned it into. And probably the best source that I found so far was photoqsls.com. I guess that's the one that he uses normally. But even then, it kind of is just like, here's the templates, and here's the templates for the back. And, you know, for you, Carlos, it might be a good thing, because if you've got the picture, because it sounds like they just take the picture and run with it. But for somebody that wants, you know, a little extra advice on what to do, like with the card, I think it'd be kind of cool. Now I'll add this too. I think, you know, just kind of an idea I throw out there for the 2 meter crew is maybe a little 2 meter crew logo in one of the corners.
Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of know that you're a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, and that's what I think would be cool. I've got the photo, but kind of getting everything laid out on it and where I want it. I'm one that will spend a few bucks more and have somebody else do it for me, and it looks right.
Yeah. Well, when you were showing his website, Jason, and it was like, you know, some of the stuff that he had done up for like the Polynesian centers and things like that, I was like, man, this guy he looks like he'd be really good at QSL cards.
Yeah, man, that's way cool. You put that together. Yeah, I'm showing. Well, I was going through that website, and then I'm back on here on Evan's website. But yeah, you're right, because one thing I've noticed is a lot of these QSL cards just grab one picture, and then it's almost like someone just took Photoshop and wrote your call and maybe some words or address, and that's that. Right. So how fun would it be to actually have some art?
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly correct. Yeah.
Yeah, here's one I'm looking at. It's a Boy Scout one. I'm guessing he's part of a Boy Scout, and it has his call sign in stitching there. I'm sharing this on YouTube. It was some canvas. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you can get some cool effects if somebody, you know, knows what they're doing and play with it a little bit.
This guy has his license plate.
If they want to do that, we definitely have the media to spread it around a little bit.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is, you know, people always like to shop. So in other words, we just kind of come up with some limitations and then some costs associated with it. Because I know for creating a logo, it's a bit of a moving target, if you will. So sometimes the price can keep going. That's true when you work with anybody like Pfeiffer. You know, they'll do this, this, and this, but then to keep going, you need to add more money into it because it's all equals in the labor. But you know, with this here, it'd be really cool to be able to figure out that template and that rate, and that'd be really neat.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that was what came to mind, and then I guess it was the other thing I was going to actually ask you guys, and you already answered for yourself, Jason. But if y'all do actually do QSL cards, and if you normally do them direct or through a bureau or things like that, and I'm totally with you. Like, I see this as a part of it that really needs to come back. That and signal reports that aren't 5.9.
Is that during a contest or not a contest?
Anytime. If it's not 5.9, don't call it 5.9.
For sure.
You mean there's signals that aren't 5.9? There's other.
Apparently, there are other options.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard. I try to always give a decent report, but man, when you get doing contests, and I haven't done a whole lot of contests, the nerves kind of come up a little bit, and you're just like repeating. You hear 5'9", and then you say 5'9", even though you had to tell them your call sign 4 times. They still tell you you're a 5'9".
That actually would be an interesting internet topic.
Yeah.
Like with the criteria for the different first and second numbers, I bet there's even a generation of hams that don't even really know that they're separate and that they do different things.
What about the Q 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? How about those? That seems like that's a pretty efficient system to me. I like that way too.
Is that used on FM, Scott, typically?
I actually heard it I've heard it in different places. It seems to be, the Monday Night Tech Net, they use it there, right? Here in Sacramento. And then I did hear it on HF this week, though. Somebody did reference that, hey, he's a Q5 or whatever, which I don't think is legitimate. Neither is Q0. I think it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But anyways, I like it because it's simple. 1, you can't hear them. 4, yeah, they sound great. And then you get 2 and 3 in the middle. So it's simple. I like it. But yeah, and I even this week I experienced some. I called out to some HF stations, and you're like, yeah, you're 5'9". I'm like, how? Because you couldn't even hear me give my call out. And I had some that actually gave me 5'5". Like, well, at least that's an honest report. I'm 100 watts going into Texas. I'm not going to be 5'9". Another site for QSL cards is a guy here in Fair Oaks. I recently came acquaintance with him, and his name is Al. He's got radioqsl.com, and he's got a small team of people who on the side at low or no profit create QSL cards. Anyways, radioqsl.com if you're looking. I think they do designs. So if you wanted to pop on that and take a look.
Do you get this free radio?
Huh?
Do you get this radio? What a website. Look at that radio.
Yeah. I've talked to Al. He's a pretty nice guy. He usually hangs out on ICW or the N6NA repeater here.
Yep. I mentioned we were talking about 2 meter crew with him today after actually about the same time. Actually, I have to lie, guys. When I did my check-in and when I did my my report on the net, I was actually on the phone with them too on the side. So multitasking, but I was selling it. I was like, hey, come join us over here. And he did listen in. So anyway.
Okay. Yeah. And very cool. So he's got some prices right there. So pre-press artwork, $75, printing, $69, shipping is $20. So you're looking at $164 for 250. And wow, so if you buy 500 cards, the price goes down to one. Well, no, not down. Well, it's down. It's not. You know what I'm saying. It's more money, but you get cards for lesser.
And I maybe I missed it, but I wasn't seeing the prices. How's that compared to the other things we were looking at?
Well, his website was really easy to find the price, and I think I've heard Al. It's AAI, right?
Yeah, AAI. He's around. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've heard him. I've definitely heard him out there. Oh, okay. Here's some prices. So, $40 for 50, $46 for 100 on this website. And so, okay, so that we got to look at 250. So about $60 for 250. So, I mean, he's a little bit more, but I think they're designing because he's got artwork.
Yeah,
but
he's got graphics artists.
You got to look at what card stock. If one's color, one's black and white. I mean, there's how many colors.
And shipping charge. He's got that shipping charge included in there too.
Yeah, you got to watch it because sometimes you go to the other sites and they're real cheap, but by the time you start plugging in everything you want, you're like, holy crap! When you're done.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, Al, if I understand correctly, has owned a number of businesses and publishing businesses in the past and website stuff. So he's into this pretty deep. It's not just a side job. I think this might be a side job, but he knows this stuff fairly well. So,
yeah. And one thing, and this is the first time I'm looking at these two websites, but this photo QSLs, it really looks like you gave him a cell phone picture that you took.
Yeah.
And then they do whatever you need to with it, like a pretty simple Photoshop. I mean, I definitely could handle that. I probably others could as well. But you
it's
get
probably
this,
a Perl script that does it. You know, they upload it to a website. So I don't want, they could be listening to this. Yeah, you're right. It could be a lot of work. It could be very little work. Who
but then
knows?
you do get different formats. So, you know, everyone has different formats on the back and how you want to send information. But I mean, right away, so samples of work, I mean, right away, these definitely pop, just with some of the artwork. And I mean, I'm looking at this barn and, you know, I could see why you would want to pay a little bit more to get something that you're very proud of.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyways, I just wanted to contribute that. I know that he shared that with me a while back. So
yeah, we'll have to get him in here one Wednesday. I don't know if he's into Zooming or maybe it's his bedtime. I know it's kind of late, but that's just because for me, my work is over, dinner with the family's over, and for the most part, the kids are getting ready for bed. So that's how it kind of worked out.
Mm-hmm. I did invite him to meet our crew. I'll invite him again if we want to learn more about it.
Yeah, I would. You know what? This would be a fun topic. What do you think, Carlos and Nick? A fun topic on the repeater at some point is like, hey, why do we need QSL cards? Or you know, just some thoughts behind that. And Al could probably launch into some of his ideas.
I think that would be
Absolutely. I think that'd be very cool if you kind of gave an overview on the QSL card. And then, hey, here's what it takes to lay one out. And by the way, I do it. Here's my website. I don't mind, letting him advertise a little bit while he's on also.
Al sent me my second QSL card I ever got.
Me too. Yep.
Yeah, he sent me my first.
I know he's really particular about keeping a log, which is really interesting. And that's something why I want to get it going on my computer, in that when he first puts your call sign in, he asks you a few questions, as we always do, but he's actually jotting it down. And I didn't know this until a month or two later. I caught him again, and his call sounded familiar, but he was like asking about, how's that leak in your roof? And I'm like, what? You know, because everything I said, he kind of jotted down. So I think that's just a way cool application of logging and keeping track of call signs.
I'm still a new ham over a year and a half now or something like that. But I have never, well, I shouldn't even say that because now I'll probably get bombed with them. I've never received a QSL card.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of neat, but then I couldn't return the favor because I don't have any, yet. But I do think it's kind of a cool, old school piece to the ham. When you make a nice contact or something's kind of cool and you want to put one out, that's why I wanted to have one. Not every contact you make or anything. But
now, how much
you
are you?
did get a patch and a personalized letter from Justin, so.
Well, Justin's the man.
I think we all got the same letter, Nick.
It was the same letter, but he changed a couple things, so it makes it personal.
Yes,
it was very phenomenal. I still want to give this guy money for it.
He sent me a bunch of money. I don't know about you guys, but
oh wow, you actually got sent.
I wasn't gonna share that, Nick.
Everybody got that? I thought that was me.
Well, that's actually interesting.
I remember
because I
there
had
was
no idea,
another good topic that was brought up also that you guys might want to think about, and I'm sure it's a good one because I think it resonates with new hams, old hams, and everyone in between. And that was the reading the propagation reports.
The propagation on how current conditions are, yeah.
Yeah, we're carrying
absolutely.
that one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're carrying that one right now, and we're trying to find somebody who can kind of dig in, understand it a bit, and then make a short presentation on it.
Right.
You got
There's a lot of meat there on that one. Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to get a conversation going recently on one of the web pages about 2-meter propagation or ducting. I got nobody who wants to talk. I'm like the only guy who wants to talk about the 2-meter ducting.
Yeah, it used to be easier also when we were pretty small, and I think the big crew kind of intimidates some folks, and they think they have to be the subject matter expert end all, on topics if they're going to get up there and speak. And we just want somebody to give an overview and start the conversation. You know, if we have Elmers out there that have more info, then they can chime in. But
yeah,
just
find
take someone
3
kind
things
of-
on Google and then make the rest of it up as you go, and we'll figure it out from there.
if you're that far wrong, they'll chime in and straighten you out.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, even like Chris said, he said that even if you did 2 meters, 2 meters is a great way to expand on it, because there's so much there. There's so much meat. There's propagation. There's simplex. There's satellite communications. There's EME. There's so much meat there to use.
Now, Carlos, back to your not getting any QSL cards. Have you done much with HF? Because I find that's where I've got, I don't know, 4 cards, 5 cards.
Yeah, that's where I would think they would come from. And a bit, I'm not a whole ton, but a little bit. I keep that's my latest interest, is trying to branch out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last night on 40 last night, it was pretty good for me. Just a local, not local, semi-local, Texas, Arizona, and a guy in Salt Lake, and they were booming in. Hit me big. A couple of them had some power, but there were a couple guys on 100 watts that I was making out through there from Texas. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Miss
the other
Molly.
thing
I haven't said hi to you tonight.
Hey, Molly, you got rid of Nick, huh?
The other thing I find fascinating about QSL cards is how people will actually send money with them to try to bribe people to send one back. Well, not bribe, but use it for postage. But what they call it, a green stamp.
Yeah, I've not seen money, but I have seen
oh wow,
pre-filled out letters. Like actually, I have one right here. Not to show the guy's address, but here's a pre-filled out envelope. I just need to stick it in and get it his way.
I think popular stations, though, who are pretty powerful and in a unique location, I think they get inundated with cards. And so after a little while, it's probably like, man, this is getting expensive. I mean, you saw some of the prices, kicking them all out. And then postage back is not cheap. So I know some of those guys are like, hey, if you want a card back, you got to send me a self-addressed envelope at least and stamp. Yeah.
By going to log of the world, that's what I'm doing.
Logbook of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go electronic.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Oh
thing,
yeah,
right, is
that's
people are going
another
electronic.
good one is the e-card. Yeah, the e-cards.
Yeah, so you can send
EQSL cards. Yeah.
the photo and everything else like a real card, but just in an email kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna make a quick technical check. I had a report that there might be some echo through YouTube. We got 30 folks still watching. If anyone's watching YouTube and actually listening, let us know if you're hearing a little echo through there, or how's everyone's audio to you on YouTube?
No echo here.
This is where
No echo here.
I get my phone.
Yeah, but you guys should be listening through Zoom. I'm trying to get the folks that. I got
gotcha.
Evans. Evans, our graphic artist, is on YouTube right now.
All right, what's happening, Evans?
Yep, he's there. He said he's got echo, but maybe it's just him. He's got cooking. Kevin B says no echo here. Sorry for the technical details, guys, but we want to sound good. We're ham radio guys, right?
No, I definitely like to know. Yeah, so I'm listening now on my phone. It seems okay. So maybe just if you're hearing a bit of issue on YouTube, just try to restart it, if you will. But every once in a while, I do hear a bit of background noise. Maybe someone's doing the dishes. So, if you're unmuted, we just try to watch our background, if you will.
Yeah, mute up if you're not speaking. So, hey, Evans, good job on the logo, man. Looks really good. Thanks for jumping in out there.
On YouTube, lots of echoing going on.
I don't hear any echo, but I sure smell that smoke, Carlos. Man, just kidding.
Hey, I was listening on WebSDR this evening, and 20
a
and
good one
40
tonight,
meters was
CAO.
doing pretty well.
Yeah, I listen on the Utah SDR.
Go ahead.
Can I just jump in here and say hi to Bobby Lee? Hi, Bobby Lee.
Hi, Miss Molly. Good to see you, sweetie.
It's good to see you too.
Do you hear me okay? Is this microphone working all right?
Yeah, it's just like a little bit low, but I can still hear you fine.
I got to get up here somewhere.
You just got a signal report from an 8-year-old.
Molly, what kind of
Seriously,
signal
that's
report
a
did you get from?
a future ham right there.
Yes.
Tell him he's about a 5'8". She goes, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, we could hear you still. At least I could.
You're in the weeds.
Molly,
You're in the weeds, Bobby Lee.
Tell him you're a 5'9".
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No idea where the microphone is on this thing. All I know is it was working. So I don't know how good, but at least I'm back.
Yeah, you're coming in good.
5'9" QSL.
I'll try to sit closer, Molly.
Okay.
You sound great. I mean, like radio quality.
Well, look at the mic. Look at the mic setup he has.
All right, we got a few more people joining us.
Evans, I think, is trying to come in there.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, I have to watch my what do they call this? My party room or whatever.
Yeah, your waiting room.
Yeah, so I can let people
Evans,
in.
everybody who's joining, if you can hear us, turn off any other audio you have, so you're only listening through Zoom if you're on Zoom. Otherwise, you will get some nasty echoes.
I want to hear about this radio, Chris. I'm jealous. It sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah. My friend Bobby Lee gave me this torture device. It's a little 878 Anytone. I had no intention of buying any radio, and specifically not another HD, but I figured why not, since I've got all this COVID free time, learn another digital mode. And this thing is, pretty well set up for DMR. And the idea I'm having with trying to get us a central place where we can have a rag chew on several digital modes. Still working on setting that up. So I figure I got to learn a couple of digital modes. So surprisingly, even though I'm able to, I had to struggle a little bit. We got it up and running. I've been talking to some of the worldwide chat rooms. I did some local talk with Bobby Lee over it. We've got like our super squirrel chat room we use when we want to talk about Jason and tell stories and not let him hear on the repeater. So it's great. Yeah. Anytone 878. Not a bad build on it. It's a little bit of a learning curve on that software. I don't know if what are you doing now, Nick? Are you DMR already?
No, I want to get that radio at some point. I have a friend who's got a hotspot that I just need to get a Pi for it.
Yep.
And get that set up. I kind of just overnight. It's funny that Jason mentioned it. I'm gonna jump into this FT8 business. So I had Log4OM on my laptop, and I'm downloading. It looks like the version 2 of it here, and I'm gonna figure out how to get it set up. And my radio, I believe I can control like that packet stuff just through the USB interface to my computer from what I'm seeing on like YouTube and online and stuff. So I'm going to try to play around with that and see if I can get some of those digital modes to work on HF and we'll see where we go from there. So
yeah, I've been catching a net, an HF net now and again. I can't remember what frequency I ran into it on, but those guys are doing like a D-Star digital HF net where they go and they do a bunch of contacts first in the morning, and then they meet up later, and then they give their report, and they're kind of like, well, I got a one-way or a two-way connection, through digital over HF. So it's pretty cool. What seemed to be pretty cool to me is like with the digital over HF is when you do make contact and it's doing the digital decoding, you get great voice quality over HF, right? Because you're really getting a digital signal and it's decoding and it sounds really good. So sometimes when you might have like, that kind of scratchy voice or funky sound, that goes away when you're on digital. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to try some of that stuff out. So we'll kind of see where that plays out. But the programming for all those different softwares require a bunch of different links and stuff. You have to get all the programs working together. I'm hearing feedback on me.
Yeah, someone unmuted that's giving us a little feedback. Hey, I want to see if we can get Evans unmuted and talk to the artist behind the this. He's not a ham guy; he's an artist, so it'd be kind of cool maybe to talk to him about what goes into making a logo or something.
Yeah, let me unmute Evans. And Evans, do you have YouTube also going right now? Because I hear an echo.
YouTube also going right now?
Where's that coming from?
Yeah, so it looks like that's on your end. So just take a moment and go down to like the bottom left where it says mute. You can click that caret up, and then you can look where your microphone is and your speakers, and that kind of thing. And we'll get you unmuted here. And we'll get you unmuted here. And So.
Well, you guys, you can see I'm down to a stub, and you know what that means. When I'm out of cigar, it's time to call it a night.
Yeah, Evans.
Nice talking to everybody.
Oh,
nice
you too, Carlos. Great to see you.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
Yeah, Evans.
Good night, Carlos.
You still have a little echo on you. So what you can do, I have you muted, so we can't hear you. But if you go to your settings and just check out where your speaker is selected and your microphone, and you can actually do a test speaker and microphone. Give that a shot. You can do that now, I believe. Are you hearing a ringtone? Yes. Speak and pause. Speak and pause. Yes.
Hey, I'm after crawling around the attic all day. I'm tired and I got some chores to do, so I'm gonna check out and I'll see y'all next week.
All right, Dan. Thanks for saying hello.
I'll see y'all next week too. Bye, guys.
Good night, guys. 73s.
All right. Good night, Dave.
Good night.
Let me see if we can unmute Evans now.
Good night.
Let me see if we can unmute Evans. All right. So we can't quite hear you, Evans. I can see that you're trying to talk. Yeah, nothing yet. It's somewhere in the settings. It's definitely one of those things that you go through it maybe once or twice, and then you figure out how to use the silly tool. This is I don't know. I forgot what track. I guess I should keep count. I think this is the 22nd episode or something on Wednesday nights. So, I'm getting a little bit better with all the little buttons you got to push to make it work.
This is like the Brady Bunch years now that we've got the grid of people and everything of ham radio TV, right?
Yeah.
Chris, I thought it was pretty cool when we were talking on TAC 310 and all of a sudden a guy checks in on his Yaesu 3D. I'm like, huh? And all of a sudden I'm like, well, that's fusion. Huh? So I knew he was coming through a bridge, but again, relating to what you're trying to accomplish with your sequence of nodes that you're getting ready to prepare, getting that first D-Star node up and running will be pretty cool to do some testing and seeing how we might be able to configure other things. And I figured
guy had no clue, right? He was like, you're on a Yaesu, dude. He's like, yeah, what does that mean? Like digital? I'm on digital? What do you know I was on digital? And he just like found his way into DMR
right.
bridge, and so it was awesome.
He said, what's that mean when you told him he's on a Yaesu?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't realize, that either he was on a different digital mode, or he knew he was, he just didn't know where he was, But it's interesting, when people talk on wires X, when they come in through a bridge, they're not on wires X, they're in wires X, and there's a difference, but between all of the different modes now with all of this bridging technology, it's been really cool being able to talk to D-Star C4 Fusion, DMR, P25, NDXN, simultaneously with this bridging technology is pretty impressive. I think it's cool. And what I thought was cool was, oh, wow, he found a bridge to go on TAC 310. That means that, I can just use my C4 Fusion radio, tap into my node wherever I'm at, and not even have to be on my DMR radio if I want to hit Chris on TAC 310.
Bobby doesn't do any bridging. Like, even if he's calling a repeater, he uses 2 different HTs, one for the input and one for the output. Like, he's got a different radio for every frequency possible in the house. I'm telling you.
That's great.
There are radios everywhere.
Have you guys tried that DV switch software yet? You guys seen it?
No, I missed that one.
Okay, so let me turn off my background so this will actually come through, hopefully. 1 second.
Can you share it? Share it, Mike.
Yeah, so let me see. So this is on my phone, right? And it's called DV switch, right? So in order to make this run, you have to have a computer that's running Linux, so like a Raspberry Pi or whatever, and you install the software, and you can get into any digital mode except for D-Star without this little dongle. If you want to do D-Star, you got to pay like $100 for this. It's called a Thumb DV. They're on sale right now. They actually sold out, so they're waiting on another stock. So, but you can do all the other modes: DMR, YSF, NXDN, P25, and so if you just want to do something like that from your phone, you can do that. Once you get that dongle, though, you can actually do a software on Windows called BlueDB. I think they have it for Linux too, if you're into Linux. But the cool thing about that is with that dongle, you can do everything from your computer. But I like this because I can do this from my phone. I have my Pi at my house. I can go on, portable. I can go anywhere as long as I have internet connection. Like at work, I can get on, DMR. I can get all that fun stuff. And yeah, maybe it's not true radio, but I mean, you're still talking over the internet anyway, whether you're going in from a radio to a hotspot or whatever, it's still going to go on the internet. So, I mean, is it cheating? Maybe, but I mean, you're just talking to people. That's the whole point to me. So.
I don't think it's cheating. They say EchoLink's cheating, and it's the same concept.
This is the little Linux box that I got. It's not going to cooperate.
Yeah, you got to turn off your backgrounds.
Turn off the background, but it's just it's just one of these boxes with it. It's kind of nice because it's got a ton of COM ports and USB ports and everything, so you can do all kinds of stuff and real basic. So this will be the one I try setting up to start with, setting up our reflector, our DMR reflector, our D-Star reflector.
Nice.
Is that what Mike?
Like, what do you need to run to do a D-Star reflector? Is it like they have some certain software that you have to set up? You have to register for like a certain thing, or what? How does that work?
Yeah, it's if you want one of the REF reflector slots, then the application process is a little more formal. If you want to get one of the like XLR or sort of the more pirate reflector spots, they're a little easier. Find an open one, you can jump up and get going on that on your own, and then you just have to sort of register with the bigger sites so that people start sort of posting that you're on the list and people know that it exists. And you just run some software on the box. The only issues I've heard is you got to be a little careful, like to not run like an SDR or something on that same box, like that doesn't like when you do that. You've got to kind of dedicate it to doing the reflector work and maybe some other stuff, but there's some limitations, like there's certain things. If the SDR was one of them. If you throw one of those on there, it evidently just makes it all go nuclear. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think the SDR software is pretty heavy on the CPU to decode all that stuff, so that makes sense why you have to have it separate.
And I was thinking about just trying to do like a Raspberry Pi or something, but I figured that what you start limiting by having a smaller box and less power is how many users can be logged into your reflector at one time. So I figure get a decent sized box that can handle some power or some people,
And what kind of box is that?
My buddy sent this one down. Is there even a marking on it? Nope. He was running it for something else. He's a former software guy turned goat farmer, so he has stuff like this laying around doing nothing. So.
Well, That's
Pretty generic.
quite a jump there. Yeah, if you talk to him again, yeah. If you
I'll
get
ask
the
him what
info,
box
yeah,
it is.
that'd be pretty cool. I'm always
I
looking
may
for
when I log in and start getting going, it may give me that info too. In the Linux operator, I should be able to pull up the about thing and see what's running.
Okay, cool.
I just designed a new background with help of Evans. Let's see if we can get Evans back on. Speaking of which, Evans, you are unmuted. How is the microphone situation? I just designed a new background with help of Evans. Let's see if we can get Evans back on. Speaking of which,
No more echo from Evans, but no sound still. Your microphone, Evans, not working.
I just designed a new background with help of Evans. When I unmute him, I hear myself.
Oh yeah, I told him to make sure he turned off YouTube. I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah, I didn't even realize YouTube was running in my background.
Ooh, I think
When
we
I
got
unmute
him, I hear myself.
Oh yeah, I told him to make sure he turned off YouTube. I don't know if he did or not. That's
Yeah.
a heck of a delay.
I'm not
YouTube
sure.
was
That's
running in
help
my
of
background.
Ooh, that's weird. As soon as I unmute him, I can hear our audio a few seconds ago coming back. That is bizarre.
Yeah, like a long delay.
Ooh, that's weird. As soon as I unmute him, I can.
That's so strange.
Oh, I know. Oh, this good old stuff. We'll have to get you back on, Evans. We'll do some test runs because I definitely want to talk about what's going on with you, about this new logo that I just put behind me. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should have 2 or 1? I figure this way as I move around, they're there. Or I could probably just do this one. But anyways, a really neat idea came up tonight that we'll have to revisit is QSL cards with actual artwork. I mean, how fun would that be?
Hey, so Evans, I was texting him when we were talking about some of this stuff. So he was wondering hopefully he can hear us. Does someone want to give a quick 5-minute or 5-second summary of what a QSL card is? I can do it, but you guys could probably do it better justice. Because he doesn't know. He's a non-ham guy.
Well, take it away, Chris.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I thought someone was going to help me out. So, Evans, these QSL cards are usually custom. Oh, there we go. We got one if you take a look at Nick's screen. When guys make contact over the radio, and especially if you do like a long-distance contact, it's really special. Through the mail, we exchange these cards, and they've got the information on it that kind of makes us unique ham radio operators, our call sign. So mine would say N6CMB on it, and I might send it to Jason after we make contact on the radio. And if you look, guys like to make them look really unique and personal to them. And Brad was saying, and I thought it was a great idea, that it might be something that or a guy like you could add some art to and really make a nice looking card, that guys would like to buy and then be able to send around the world to their friends,
We have an iPad that joined us. That's a little worrisome because it's pretty vague.
Uh-oh. Is this where the nude people start running around that you've been hearing about?
So I saw this joke someone posted. It said they had a student. They renamed their profile to reconnecting ... and they claimed they had trouble, so they didn't have to go do their Zoom meeting with their teacher.
You got to give that kid an A for thinking it all the way through, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
hey, Evans, Jason, can Evans can he respond in the chat if he can hear us?
Yeah, he's listening to us and he's in the chat so he can see us. I'm gonna try to unmute.
Yeah, he's in the
he's listening to us and he's in the chat. Muted. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very cool. Okay, he sounds like he's interested, and I'm showing some examples on the screen. Look at this one. This one looks pretty interesting. You know what this looks like? It looks like someone took a postcard, and I mean, look how simple this antenna is. That's great. I'm showing it there on YouTube. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways to slice it. And then I mean, this is a nice looking card as well, but again, it's a photo or possibly postcard. And then now the QSL cards, what's interesting about them is you're sending them out to someone to remember your contact. I'm pretty sure I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing you could send copyrighted QSL cards because you're not asking for any money, you're giving them. Now, it might be against some copyright stuff to print, but you're not printing to resell. So I just don't have the definitive answer on how people do that. Like, what do you guys think? Like this, like, okay, so here's a good example. Oh, okay, so in this case, this photo was by Paul Hines. So he actually was given credit. So that's a pretty good idea if you find a photo. I like that. Where's that Boy Scout one I saw?
Yeah, I mean, as a photographer who does professional work, and my photos sometimes get out and about, a lot of times that's all I care about is getting a little credit for my shot. You know, is if it's something I've got out on the internet anyway, it's not like I'm looking to get paid for it, but it is nice when someone just says, "Hey, this photo was taken by, Chris Brown, Rhode Island Red Photography." So,
yeah. Where did that go? How about Chris? How you doing over there? As in KJ6DLF. I saw you pop in there. I haven't heard you yet.
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm dealing with some IT stuff while I'm watching you guys. I had to bail out at 7 o'clock to go deal with that. So now I'm just waiting for support calls, but just sitting here watching everything going on.
Very cool. Yeah. This is just a Wednesday night hangout, so to speak. Let's see, what do we got? About 30 people hanging out with us. Very cool. Thanks for coming along to the ride. Does anyone, I think I'm probably wrapping it up here, another 10 minutes or so, so I kind of want to pass it around. How about you, Scott? You've came up with some really cool ideas. How is it going your way?
Yeah, pretty good. Like I shared on the net a little bit. I spent a couple of weekends, these last couple of weekends, working on my antennas. I I used to have this off-center fed 40 through 10 antenna off-center fed that was up about 17 and a half feet. And I was getting out, but, it was a lot of noise on 40. I thought I could do better. So my trees had the height. So climbed up on the tree and I put up a homemade fan dipole at about 30 feet. That was hard. When you draw this on paper, it looks really easy. But then when you start climbing in trees and throwing things between leaves and branches, and you realize 30 feet, that's high. That's,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. You say it and then you realize, wow, that's a lot higher than I was thinking. I was thinking I would easily get 35. I was worried that, 40 feet, I could do that. That's easy. No, 30 was hard. So anyways, I did that. And then I raised my 80 meter antenna up about another 7-8 feet. So it's at 17 and a half feet. And so 40, 20, and 80, I also tuned them. So they're almost completely flat. And I don't need my tuner on 40 or 20 at all. And then 80, I only need it on the edges of the band. So it's nice and flat. And I like it a lot now. And I get better signal to noise ratio. And I made some good contacts the last few nights and last couple of weeks. So it was worth it.
Yeah, getting that low noise is remarkable. If you start experimenting at home, setting up whatever you can, and then once you start dialing it in, or maybe you do some portable operations out in a park or out camping, and all of a sudden you're an S1 or an S2, it's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people out here I can hear.
Yeah. So now my sights are on the next project. So sacrificed 10 meters. It used to, the fan dipole used to have 10 meter wires on it, but when you're going 30 feet, I had to compromise on something because it was just getting really hard to work with at that height. So I cut the lobes off, I cut the wires off from my 10, and I could get out on 10. I think I haven't really made any contacts, but I have to balance. I have to choose between my 80 meter and my 40-20. I have to choose between it depending where I'm in the band. I have to heavily tune it. It's just a hassle. And so now I'm thinking about how can I get 10 meters a little easier, but there's not really much going on there right now. So it's not a priority. The other thing I'm thinking about doing antenna wise is I'd like to try to get either 160, or if that doesn't fit, an 80 meter a horizontal loop on my property. I think I can do it. And then connect that with some 450 ohm ladder line. And that way I, not dealing so much with the SWR loss, and I can maybe get down to 160 for fun. So that's, I'm thinking about that. I don't know if anyone's ever done anything like that, but I'm open to input on that.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about loops. Not operated one or had one yet.
Yeah, so what I understand is, it's full wave. The bigger the square, area, the better. It doesn't have to be so high up like a dipole would be. It still needs, height's always better, right? But I hear they perform better than a dipole at the same height. And then of course, once you add a ladder line to anything, that, I guess the the loss you would ordinarily get heating up the wire doesn't necessarily happen as there's that conversion's not there. So the energy's still going out. And so anyways, I'm interested in that. I'm saving up for an HF rig. And we talked about that a couple meetings ago. And so I'm still trying to save up. There's been, the COVID stuff's not helping me in that area at all. But anyway, so there's that. And then I'm also coming to the realization that I'm probably eventually going to have to get an amp if I really want to get some good conversations across the other side of the country. So I'm looking at amps too. I don't know. See if my wife will let me get that on. And those things are big. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I've been reduced to the garage.
Anyways, that's what's on my mind. Not much in the
cool.
2 meter space. It's more HF stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do more and more HF all the time. Heck
I did contemplate so my 2 meter antenna is about 14 feet up. It's not that great. It's better than being on the back of your car. So, but anyway, I was looking at raising that antenna up maybe another 4 or 5 feet, try to get it to at least a 20. But it started wobbling a lot, and we've had some inclement weather. So I got to figure out at some point. It's not hard, but I'd like to probably get another few feet out of it. My coax can only go another, I think, 3 feet anyway. So.
Yeah,
I should get a little higher. And my antenna is a quarter wave. And so, and I bought, we put it on my Christmas list. The person who bought it for me on their Christmas list, at that point in time that I put it on the Christmas list, and, I didn't realize the difference between a quarter wave and a 5/8 wave and the propagation. And I should have chosen the 5/8 wave antenna. I understand that's a little flatter, a little further out. It's one regret I have.
The next thing on my list for the Ham Shack is a chair.
I got one of those.
Cause right now I have to stand up because I've got one of these pads, and when I got it I was like, well, this should be a nice chair for the shack, one of these like cobalt stools. Well, this just goes all the way down, and then it's just a nightmare. So yeah, we'll have to talk about chairs one night. No, I'm kidding. But
chairs,
it's actually more important than you think. I know my crazy workplace is always talking about ergonomics. So yeah, I'm saving up for a chair right now.
I think I'm sitting in a, they rate chairs by the number of hours you think you can sit in. And I think this is a 16-hour chair.
Oh,
and they don't have to be expensive. I mean, they make cheap chairs that are designed for 10 hours or whatever, 16 hours. This is not an expensive chair. I probably only spent $100 on it, maybe a little more. But anyways, it's worth getting a good chair, especially if you work at home or sit all day long. This chair, I like it. I don't get uncomfortable in it.
Yeah. Well, coming here for the 2 meter crew, I could either sit here for 3 hours or drive to Santa Cruz, which is also 3 hours away.
Wow.
And my seat in the cars are comfortable. But yeah, seats are good. Seats are important. How about you there, WG5EK? What are you up to there, Mike?
Well, let me unmute there. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
What am I doing? Not a whole lot. Just having fun with the digital modes like I've been talking about, and then playing around with my website. Talking with Brandon, trying to add more features, and then share that. Talking with, like I said, with that I don't know if you guys use Telegram or not. It's pretty neat. It's just an app, another chat room type of thing. But they have these bots you can get, and you can interact with them. But the one that was available for AllStar Link was just, hey, this person connected. And that's cool, but because Jason knows when he's trying to stay connected, sneak in on EchoLink or whatever, and was like, oh look, let me talk to Jason real quick. But yeah, we're trying to just add a little bit more functionality to it, be able to control your EchoLink through that app, through the bot, which is kind of cool. I can already do a couple things like restart it or like send a message or whatever. But he's just a really, you've talked to him there, Jason. He's a real smart individual. He's getting ready to retire from the Air Force. He's got 2 months left.
Ooh.
And he's moving to Southern California, so it'll be a little closer, same time zone, which would be nice. So
yeah,
try to get him hooked up with an AllStar node as well, because trying to get him one there, it's kind of a waste of time right now. He's only got 2 months left. So, but yeah, so we've been just working on that and throwing ideas out there and just having fun with it. So if you think of anything that you'd like to see on the website, for the show or some functionality, just hit me up and we can see what we can do.
Boy, I can't keep up with what you're doing. I mean, you just keep adding to that WG5EEK website. For those that haven't checked that out, I definitely encourage you to go take a look at that. That's also where, a lot of links are, whether you want to follow us on some kind of social platform, check out what's going on with EchoLink. And I'm only guessing, Mike, you'll probably put more stuff there. So for instance, like let's say we figure out some cool QSL website or service tool, we can put a link there, and there's all sorts of different things we can kind of use that. I mean, there's also the 2 Meter Crew website as well, but I mean, you're definitely building on to that one very fast.
Yeah, so anything that we think of add, like, hey, like last week, Nick was like, hey, can you add the Facebook for the 2 Meter Crew? I was like, yeah, I did it like either that night or the next day, and it was up there. Then you got your new logo from Evans. And I saw that in the Discord. I was like, well, as soon as I get home, I'm throwing that up there on the website. So yeah, it's pretty neat. I got this. It's not like a really full blown out website design tool. It's mainly just like, hey, for very simple stuff, which is what I'm working on the front end and Brandon's doing on the back end. But it's just called, not to plug anybody. We're not sponsored by anybody, but it's called What You See Is What You Get Web Builder, and they have a free trial. And it looks like Microsoft Word. So you design a page how you want to look at, how you want it to see, and then it just looks like that when you publish it. You don't have to code, you don't have to do any of that stuff. It's just you place it here, and then it looks like that, which is easy for me to. I don't have time to learn all that HTML and PHP and all that stuff. I just don't have the time for that, but it makes it real easy.
Yeah, looks like we got a comment in the chat I'm reading. So Ham Nation, another they're a pretty big group. Ham Nation's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. So he's giving me or she, I'm not sure, Kai, heads up if we want to adjust, because they probably go on for 2 hours, I think. They're 6 p.m. Pacific time, Ham Nation, which is a great group of guys. I think they broadcast out of Petaluma, but then you have people like Bob Heil and Gordon West and all that on there. Maybe. I don't know. We just picked this so long ago. We're just kind of going with it for right now. But that's a good idea. Evans, I'm going to unmute you. I'm curious how your echoing is going. Go ahead, Evans.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're sounding good.
He did it.
Hey, awesome. Right. I don't know what I did, but okay. Although I only can see the gentleman in the cap on the middle left center.
Oh, okay.
So I'm using YouTube to see everybody, but when I'm looking at my camera, I only see.
I think you stuck seeing Bobby Lee.
If you go up into the upper right-hand corner, Evan, there's a button that will say Speaker View, or if you click
he's on the web app.
No, I'm not. I'm using the web, so this could be the issue here.
Okay. Is it alternating between people as they talk, where you see different people, or is it just one person?
You see how on YouTube you see how it's there you go. That's all I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bobby's highlighted as the speaker right now. He's got the green box.
Well,
so I think Jason.
Yeah. So whoever's got the green box, that's who I'm seeing.
All right. Okay. I'm trying to adjust that green. Okay, now the green box is moving.
I can see you, Jason.
Okay, good.
Now I'm looking at you, Jason.
So now you're seeing people as they talk, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's cool. Okay. Now
yeah, it looks like I did have Bobby was selected, but depending on what tool you're using, whether you're on a phone, tablet, web interface, or the application to put on the computer, does give you different tools
Yeah, speaker view
Okay, so the
versus
web-
gallery view.
The
And
web
if you,
interface is very limited.
Yeah. Or hard to find. You can also set it up for stud muffin view, which is what I just set it to now.
And he did that audibly.
Yeah, but I don't want to look at myself though.
Hey Evans, everybody got
Yo.
to see your logo a little bit tonight and a little bit of your
Okay,
work.
cool.
Looks fantastic, by the way, man. Good job. We're
Thanks.
curious, like, what do you need from someone if we wanted to like get some custom artwork done? Something like that for our QSL card. Like, could it be done by email? Do we need to talk to you? Like, how much do you need from someone to start getting an idea about generating something cool like that?
Well, I'm open for as far as communications. Definitely getting on the phone, talking with you. That'd be great. Or just by email is fine as well. But having a conversation is great as well. Is actually best, And you can check out my website. I didn't upload your what do you call it? Your logo yet, Jason. So I will be doing that. But just so you can see what I've done, I do have some stuff on that website that you can see. But yeah, or you can even contact me through my website as well. At the very bottom, you can always email me as well.
Very cool.
So that box is where I'll be putting your logo.
Ah, very good. Yeah, I mean, I think what a lot of us, would like for us in the future is to get these cards we send to each other, and the cards always kind of represent a little bit of who you are as a person, what your interests are, your hobbies, etc. And sometimes artwork can be just a great way to share that instead of just some photo. Are you guys
Finding just photos on the web, or where are you guys getting all these images that you guys are showing me?
I can't speak for everyone, but I'm gonna say it's a mixed bag. So, some people will probably go grab their favorite photo. Some people will give credit. Others will take it with their cell phone. I mean, it's probably all over the map. And then these different websites or different people that are creating the cards will then kind of put some Photoshop text on top of this said photo with their call sign, maybe their state. So, I mean, the QSL cards can come in variety of forms, or they're always about the same size, but who knows what's going to be on the front of it.
So the one that you put on the screen, who designed those?
We don't know. We don't know if the ham himself did or he utilized a service.
Oh, I see.
A lot of services are out there where you can upload like a photo or something, and then they've got some standard graphics, that are built into like a template, and they automatically sort of populate it the way it is. And it turns into it's really like a postcard, right? At the end of the day, a lot of them, some people do put them into envelopes and send them that way, but they maybe even originally were QSL cards originally postcards for the most part. Who knows? Who's an older ham?
Yes, they were.
I've seen them.
I
them
can
come.
take it back to even CB radio. I have a file of CB radios where back then they were sending out postcards that were the QSL cards.
So CB guys did QSL cards. Oh, cool.
Yep.
So I thought it was pretty cool. Evans, you were talking to me the other day, and you remembered your father's.
Yeah, I was just about to say. My dad, his handle used to be called Yellow Bucket because our van was this canary yellow shag carpet from the 70s, man. He used to call himself Yellow Bucket, man.
That's great.
AF 3614, this is Yellow Bucket. But I don't remember any QC. What is that?
QSL.
QSL cards.
Well, you're in Hawaii, man. Everybody's like 5 minutes away from each other,
Yeah. So I guess they never used that stuff back then. I don't know. Did they have? I don't know. This was like in the 70s.
Yeah,
now.
they did. They were postcards. That's all. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's back when they were doing it in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. Because I was talking on CB back then in the 70s. Yeah.
I think they're even older than that. I mean, aren't they?
Oh, I guess that kind of tells my age too, huh?
Well, I bet they go way back, right?
Yeah, I'm asking my dad when he got his first QSL card because he's been, he's in his late 60s, and I think had been in ham since he was like 12 or something. So I was asking him when he got his first QSL card, and I vaguely recall seeing some of his old ones, and they were old, old.
Well, they say you just gotta wait long enough, you'll become old.
I know. We'll see.
Well, awesome,
So these
Evans.
get like, you guys mail these things out, or how does that work? Is it a physical, an actual physical card?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I saw some cards.
Yeah, it's kind of scripted like a
lot of
postcard.
mediums,
That's
people
all.
aren't mailing stuff. They're looking at, people are logging online and wanting to do these. Everybody's offering these online services for, global logging and whatever. But there's still something much like making an analog contact halfway around the world, getting that old card by mail from someone that's got, had their hands on it with a little COVID and then their signature. It's kind of special, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I got one here, and it's kind of interesting. Kind of customized a little bit, and then on the back is going to be information about the exchange. So that's my call, the time, the date, the frequency, the radios, and then sometimes they just throw a little something, hey, thanks. This was during 100 Watts in a Wire, which is a pretty cool podcast. And then so I've got another one here. Maybe this person took this photo. I don't know. I don't know if I would.
So when you guys making these, is this like a free service, or how's that working?
Only if you make it yourself, it's free.
Yeah, typically it's not. Typically it's not free. You're gonna at the very least pay for the printing, for the stock, and then the printing. But what's interesting is well, I'm kind of thinking about this as I go. Where's my? I lost my mouse and I can't unpin myself.
I got one here too. This is the Western Country Cousins. I might be coming across reverse on your screen.
That looks good.
No, it's good. It's good.
Is it?
Yep.
How come it comes reverse on mine? Maybe mine's because mine's a preview. But anyways, yeah, the Western Country Cousins sent me mine. I guess I tried striking there, and they sent me a thing saying, hey, you got your first strike, and you get so many strikes, then you're in, as long as you send them a $10 check or something. And my dad got back to me. He's telling me his first card was in 1972, maybe. So yeah, maybe it's not. I was thinking 50s or 60s, but 72.
Scott,
so you guys.
Oh yeah.
You have a bit of a relationship with Al, right, Scott? I'm curious to know if he has an artist, and if he doesn't, that would be a good place to kind of have Evans here, reach out and work with Al, because it looks like Al's in the business to print them and mail them, but maybe he doesn't necessarily have an artist, or I wonder, because that's where that would fit in, right? You would need the card designed, and then you would need it printed and cut and then sent.
I think he has designers.
I can always send it to him for sure.
So I wonder if his designers are almost like a Chris, what's the word I'm looking for? A freelance designer within his website, Yeah.
I sent him another email saying we were talking about this today and invited him to participate. And so we'll see back. If he replies back, I'll see if I can put him in contact with you, Jason, or somebody, whoever is interested.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this for sure.
I mean, for those that are still hanging, we got still on YouTube 26. So the thing that a guy like Evans brings to the table is not, it's not just about like working in Photoshop or, putting a photo, laying a photo out. It's about making art, making something unique. And you look at that logo that Jason's got there, that's a one-off and, created sort of from scratch to be catchy and all that. So, that's sort of what you're after with a guy like Evans, if you really want to go to that next level of creating something unique and not just throwing something on top of a photo or something.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the logo sits to the left perfectly with your profile, Jason. I don't know if they said that earlier, but
right now,
I mean, it's almost like the logo. Well, yeah, because where your shoulder is just underneath the right wing of the logo. I mean, if you look at it, it's like your profile is designed to fit next to that logo. And I don't know if that was part of the artistry part of it or not.
Took hours to get that part right.
It's very good. Very good logo. Very good work. Yeah.
Did you have to measure his shoulders to get that
No.
just right? Hey guys, I want the
You know,
bill.
these-
I'll say 73, and we'll chat with you guys later. It's been real fun.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, my bed is calling my name too.
Take
Here
it easy,
shortly.
Mike.
Laters.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's. I think I'm gonna
All
close
right.
it out.
Yeah, me
we're,
too.
We're right there at
Next week.
9:30. If no one has any parting questions or comments, we'll pick it up next Wednesday and we'll talk more. Scott, let us know if Al is interested or what kind of information he can share about how do we really make a QSL card look nice. And, you know, if we want to utilize artwork, let's say from a guy, Evans here, how do we kind of get those two to kind of commingle?
Yeah, I'll keep you
Well,
posted.
I can easily work that out with what's his name?
Al.
Al. Because
K6AA.
I send stuff to printers all the time, so
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I can always work that out with him, and like as far as how big and what kind of file he needs, I can. That's where I can come in and do that. I would just love to connect with him, and you know, and that kind of things like that. But hey, yeah, guys, I definitely I can make a card that fits you, that's your signature, you know, so that way it's not this generic photo, and even a logo if you want to go that far, you know, like Jason there. So
yeah, Nick keeps talking
I'm
about
always
this
open for
YouTube
that.
channel.
Nick's up. Come here. Hey, do we have a topic for next week, Jason, yet?
Not that I know of. I mean,
We have several now to discuss.
you know,
So,
revisiting
yeah,
QSL
hey.
cards or signal reports. You know, I kind of been jotting them down in the Discord net idea channel.
So I was gonna say jump on to Discord, everybody. Let's discuss it maybe earlier this week than Tuesday night, and might help us get something cooking, you know, a little bit before. So don't forget about Discord in between if you get lonely.
So according to Wikipedia, guys, QSL cards start as early as the 1920s, maybe even before that. So I was saying, I was pretty sure there. I've seen really old ones, so this is old.
That's crazy.
100 years probably now, huh?
I didn't know it'd go back that far.
Yeah, they said they were exchanging them back in the 1920s and 30s.
That's cool.
In fact, it's how they were factually used to gauge effectiveness of their transmission. So I think what happened, my guess is that you know, people kind of like a beacon, people across the other nation, they would hear you, and then they would send a QSL card just because they heard you.
Right.
I don't even think you actually made a QSL at that point. I think they just heard it. And then,
Oh, that makes sense.
You're
yeah.
right. It's probably all
like a
Morse
propagation
code.
thing.
Yeah.
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 Right. Yeah.
Anyways, someone should do a little bit of presentation, and it's not me on this, but Wikipedia's got a pretty good page on it, so there's some good meat there.
All right, Scott. Well, you're reading Wikipedia next week. Thanks for volunteering.
Yeah, right. I've got kids and homework going on in this household. There's no time for that stuff.
I hear you.
Thanks, Scott.
That's what I was saying about the history of ham radio. You start diving into it, and then you start diving into just the history of radio and how not even, you know, amateur radio related, just the history of how scientists back in the early 1800s and late 1700s started discovering things. And I mean, you could go for hours explaining how that all transpired, but it's really super interesting. If anybody ever wants to look it up, I've kind of been stuck on it the last few days.
Yeah, so my dad's finally getting back to me a little bit. He says, because I asked him when did it start. He goes, not really sure, probably a lot earlier. QSL letters started it. So he's saying they were originally letters. Monitors on land sent letters to anything they heard, confirming a transmission. Not sure when it turned into a card. So it actually sounds like it might have been originally a letter for exactly what we were talking about. People monitoring stations and just giving like basically a report on your, you know, back in the mail. And who knows when that began? Probably as early as ham radio.
We might have to get NN6EE Jim because he's been around since the first radio. So
he can show us the first QSL letter.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you for volunteering to go over to Jim's house and make sure he gets
a little
on
bit
Zoom.
of everything. That's for sure.
Hey, I was wondering, this can I ask a question? It's kind of off topic, but you know how my dad back in the day had a handle, you know, was KUF 3614, the yellow bucket, and I was wondering when you guys talking on the ham radio, are you guys using a handle, or are you guys just anybody out there, or
We
you guys
are,
just
yeah.
calling out by names?
Yep. So every licensed amateur radio operator has a call sign. Some of ours are listed. So in my heading, you can see KN6DAL. That's my call sign, and we use that. Required is we have to use that at the end of any of our transmissions, or every 10 minutes.
Right.
I guess I should say and every 10 minutes.
But you will hear people say, "Hey, what's the handle that way?" or "What's your handle?" And typically that does go back all the way probably to then. And what they're asking is, "What would you like to be called?" Because sometimes people would rather be referred to as a nickname or something. So in some cases, like we have Green Donkey, or we just call him Donkey. You know, his name is Derek, and he drives this green Toyota, and he just kind of, so a lot of times we call him Green Donkey. I'm just Jason. I think I'm looking around. I think everyone in here probably just uses their first name when just on the radio. But in some cases, people will. I mean, Bobby Lee, he does both first and last name, but I think Bobby Lee just rolls off your tongue.
So when someone gets on the radio at first, do they do their call sign like my father used to use? This is KUF 3614. This yellow bucket. Anybody got their ears on?
Yeah,
that kind
pretty
of
much.
thing. Does anybody do that anymore, or is it just like
that's
hey,
how it starts?
Anybody? Okay.
Yeah.
Thousands of times a day.
And I mean, there's no like template you have to follow, but if you don't pick up the microphone and say something, and obviously like Nick said, you need to give your call. But yeah, the radio's dead quiet if at least one person doesn't pick it up. And you know what's kind of funny is sometimes 'cause I'll listen at work, the repeater will be quiet for hours, and then one person says something, could be anything, hopefully something funny, because I like to be entertained when I'm at work. And then all of a sudden there's like 4 or 5 people, everyone's doubling. That's when like multiple stations try to transmit at the same time. It doesn't really work. And so and it could be hours before that radio, the repeater is quiet. And it just took that one person to pick up the microphone, and they're looking for Yellow Bucket. That's an awesome name, by the way.
Yeah. I think my dad had a 79 or some van in the 70s.
Yeah,
Canary yellow with shag yellow carpet. Oh, that's crazy.
Classic. Classic.
You still got one of those parked out front.
Well, all right, guys. I think I'm going to push a few buttons and shut all this down. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here in the Zoom call, and the people there on YouTube watching us. This all is happening live and then is later recorded. And we'll be back here next Wednesday at 7. So, catch everyone then.
Awesome. My first time on the Zoom part of it, so did a good job.
Oh, and I should say tomorrow night is the local club meeting. So Corey and I and a few other Mike and a few other people are in the local club here in Vacaville. So we'll be having this same thing tomorrow night.
Are we doing Zoom?
Yeah, it'll be over Zoom. Wow.
Okay.
And my internet is going down fast. I don't know what my wife's doing in there. All right, guys, I'm going to say 7-3, good night. It was great chatting with everyone tonight. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Later, Pete.
All right.
All right, good night.